Hey, what you like is your business.
King Snorlax 048 months.
Bean burger, bean burger, bean burger. How are we doing, everybody? Hope you're all eating your bean burgers. Oh, I'm a tired boy, but WrestleMania will do that to you. How are we all doing, though? What's going on? What's happening? Still poorly eye. As a reminder, always poorly eye because I haven't got an appointment until Tuesday, so I can't check out the status of my contact lens eye injury thing until Tuesday. So enjoy. Having no Liam face. I know it's a privilege. Don't worry. I'm proud of everybody for being so nice about it. Now, we're going to thank everybody that supports this channel, because without those, the channel would not be supported and would die. So join me in saluting the wonderful current reigning defending champions for the month of April, who are PokeTrader Dean, the donation champion, PokeTrader Dean, the YouTube gift champion, Skynix Dystoxia, the bits champion, and the Ninetale Fox Alex, the Twitch gifts champion. Then over to our wonderful Ace Trainer Ultra members, who are Heavy Metal Mew, Sam Akadi, Typhlosion Shogun, Rachelin, Vixelation, Lemmy of Champions, Tactical Dilly, Glenn, Adrius Vale, Sophie Jane, Alex the 8T, and Micah 7er. And our Twitch Ace Trainer Ultras, who are Brometapod, Rachelin, and Gears of Gizmo. And then double those salutes, please, for the big boys, the Ace Trainer Ultra XL members, the best of the best, the creme de la creme, riding the Ace Train in first class. They are the absolutely delectable Brometapod, Purple Dragonair, Toy Bonnie, Gear Overlord, Mumbai Cobra, Night Angel, Coordinate Kia, Cap Rider, Blue Malamu, and PokeTrader Dean. Thank you all. You're all proper nice and good, aren't you? And you just proper lovely, ain't you? And isn't that great? Oh, it's great. Lovely. Right, on that note, straight into Pokemon. And I'm gonna tell you how your boy has effed up. All right? Your boy effed up. He saved his game. He transferred in. Dog is there. Hang on. Ruby. Ed. Good. Good girl. There you go. There's his dog, Smarty. Do you feel better? You better. What's that button do? Oh, that button works. There's his dogs. There's his dogs. There's his dogs. The baby. She don't give a fuck. She don't give a What you... Whoop, toop. She don't give a fuck. She don't care. Have you paid cheese tax? No one's requested it on Twitch. Hello, Cheesehead. Hello, Dorkaju. Happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. God damn. Also, we do have a little alert to replay for King Snorlax 04, who has resubbed
Hey, what you like
for
is
8
your
months.
business.
That's almost a year.
King Snorlax 048 months.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much, King Snorlax. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Right, we gotta get this kid behaving. Hang on. Right, cheese will be paid. Cheese will be paid in blood. No, not in blood. Right. I'll go on the bed.
Spontaneous act
Wait,
of
thank you,
generosity.
Player Zero, for gifting a gifty. Much appreciated. Get some love for Player Zero in the chat. Thank you. That's very
In
generous.
here, granted, it does smell.
Oh, wait. And we've also got Dobe with the Twitch sub. Much appreciated. Thank you. Oh, that triple threat match was fucking beaut. Mate, WrestleMania was a fucking... It was a slow burner. Because, like, as expected, Gunther versus Jay was fine. And then the tag team match was fine. And then Naomi versus Bianca was... Not Bianca. Naomi versus Jade was actually a fucking sleeper hit. I expected that match to not be very good. But oh my word, the way Naomi took the Jaded, holy shit, I thought she'd broken her own face. It was mint. And that electric chair flipping into a powerbomb, insane. And then obviously, Rey Fenix, my boy Rey Fenix, against El Grande Americano, or whatever he's called. Americano? Yeah, El Grande Americano, I think. Yeah, that was just, you expected it to be a banger. It was a banger. Fucking, what else was there? Oh yeah, Tiffy and Charlotte was great. And then the triple threat, absolute fucking win. Heyman Low Blow and CM Punk and Reigns, that blew my mind. No John F. Kennedy. When you say blow mind, you don't have to reference a president's brain being shot out the back of his head. You know, El Grande Americano coffee. Is it not El Grande Americano? I don't know now. But yeah, I made a boo-boo. I saved with eggs in the box. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find a place to shift these eggs. And just put them away for a bit. Because I'm well annoyed. They're in the way! And we'll just worry about them later. I can confirm none of those are shiny Tauros. Yeah, WWE buying AAA, as they should say, is fucking wild. Americano type of coffee. No, I know it is, but I'm now questioning whether or not I'm just confused on the name of the character. You mean Chad Gable? It's not Chad Gable. We've seen them in the same room, guys. Come on. It can't be. Oh, yeah, also, take that fucking... Oh, you have. You know what it is? It's because... Oh, yeah, shit. My bad. Oh, it's okay. Well, in that case, don't worry. Basically, I've got a bunch of eggs that I haven't deleted. I hatched them, but the problem is, so I got them there and them there. I already know none of those are shiny because I hatched them all, but the problem is when I took the power bracer off this Ditto so they wouldn't keep hatching with 0 attack, I saved the game. I went, oh yeah, let me save that. Idiot. We've all done it. We all know how annoying it is. I can't wait to share my wig. It looks great already. Ooh, exciting stuff. Been subbed on YouTube for a spell, but since I have Twitch back on phone, I figured I might as well sub on Twitch. I appreciate you, Dope. I appreciate you. Big up the Dope. Up the Dope. I need to make sure I'm hydrating, though. I definitely didn't hydrate enough during WrestleMania. 1 or 2 weeks of the greatest weekend of my life. My mates won't be able to shut me up about meeting Hayden and Rosario. Oh, wee. Man. They say Rosario plays a character that's like shooting someone in the bum with a super soaker. Ass soaker. Way! That's terrible. Hey, Liam, what do you think is the strongest non-legendary normal type? I already know the answer to that. It's Ursaluna. That's why so many VGC teams have an Ursaluna on them. Because they're really fucking strong. Blood Moon is broken. Mind's Eye is a broken ability. Blood Moon Ursaluna. Strongest normal type. Non-legendary. Actual factual. World champ difference. Wish I had G Fuel to keep you awake tonight. Get some G Fuel. And now sit on the pre-show. I'm gonna pre. Right. Let's make this sandwich. called the Great Peanut Butter Sandwich. You've gone past it. The Great Peanut Butter. But you can do the Ultra Peanut Butter Sandwich, which makes no fucking difference, except you waste some jam, and you get Raid Power Normal Level 2. It's not worth it. You go to bed. No worries, British Birdie. You get some rest, my dude. I appreciate you popping in. I appreciate everybody who pops in. Pop in these nuts. Let's go over here and make some bagels out of jam. So for those who don't know what we're doing, it's Tauros Roulette. It's really simple. When I was little, I called Ash Ketchum Ash Ketump and also thought Pikachu had a black tip on his tail. Yeah. And then when you're an adult, you didn't learn how to spell either. Sorry. Sorry, Mardy Liam is in full Mardy mode lately. Oh, no worries, British Birdie. I'll take a look at that in a bit. She's going to pop her pussy in the Discord. Good grief. Someone please think of the children. You know about the company that makes yardsticks? They're not going to make them any longer. Very good. Be careful of the Easter grass because it's also 420 day. Oh yeah, drugs and things. People like those for some reason. I'll never understand it, but is what it is. I took some paracetamol today because I have wisdom toothache. It's a baller. And some ibuprofen. Technically, I took both because it's Noramol, which is both, but you know. Here's what you do, Liam. You're concerned about whether or not you'd saved your game. Save your game now. Yeah, yeah. Because what you also want to do is make sure you're in the correct box. Which you are, which is good. Yeah, because I hate putting eggs in the wrong box. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. How you doing, Gizmo? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Picnic. Oh yeah, Gizmo, just so you know, you're probably going to watch Netflix. You're going to want to watch Netflix at midnight tonight because the first match of WrestleMania Night 2 is the Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair match. So mommy will be there. I don't either, Liam. As clean as a bean. Exactly. I never... Do you know what? I always forget that Triple H is, like, straight edge as well. Like, it's something that's never really talked about enough. But, like, he meant... Like, when he was doing his Hall of Fame speech and he was mentioning, like, all the lads were getting high and stuff. And obviously I wasn't partaking because I don't drink. I don't do drugs or anything. And you're just like, oh, I forget Triple H is fucking a clean boy. Brev, I've got to watch Night 1. Oh, I mean, you don't have to, but it was really good. Skip the first 2 matches. Go straight to Jade versus... Jade versus Naomi. That was a banger. Oh, Stephanie Vaquer's not on the main roster. What you're looking for, Gizmo, is NXT Stand and Deliver, which is also on Netflix. If you look for Stand and Deliver 2025, you get to watch Stephanie Vaquer and her booty and Jordan Grace, who's fucking awesome. Yeah, she's NXT. And Julia. Kind of hoping they would play CM Punk's old theme. I mean, technically they did, but also technically not. They just had Living Colour playing it, and all the notes were not the way they are in the song, so you're trying to sing along to it, and it's like, I can't. They're doing it different. Keep seeing stuff on Insta. I think I sent you something. I know about Robin Williams, Standard Deliver. Very good. I killed Scorpion in the Living Forest with Cody Rhodes with Sub-Zero's gloves. It is a sentence I never thought I could utter. Oh my god. Yeah. Cody Rhodes and The Undertaker in Fortnite. Who won women's, by the way, for WWE? The women's title match. It's Tiffy time! Tiffy won. Or are you asking about the Women's Royal Rumble? Because there weren't a Women's Royal Rumble at WrestleMania. That would be crazy. Yeah, women's title. Tiffany Stratton beat Charlotte Flair. Thank fuck. Spoiler alert. For anyone that's not watched it yet. Hey up, Metapod, how you doing? The match that Charlotte was in? Yeah. Charlotte lost, which is good. Yeah, no one likes Charlotte. Charlotte shit. Charlotte, well, she's not shit. She's a good wrestler, but I hate her as a person, and I hate her as a character. It's like, we get it. You're Ric Flair's daughter, but are we also forgetting that your dad's a sex pest? Heard about the Ashley St. Clair Elon Musk paternity lawsuit? No. I'm going to get my Ezra Bridger Funko signed, but I'm not sure which quote I should get written on it. Any ideas? Get one that no one would have. Like, fuck your chicken strips! Fuck your chicken strips! That'd be amazing. See the lad that got Rhea Ripley to sign his adoption certificate? That's kind of mint. I did not see that, but that's amazing. What does Charlotte Flair do? She's just piss irritating. She just, like, she's just a product of nepotism. So she just gets opportunities in wrestling because her dad is a very famous wrestler. And it's like, how's your eyes, Liam? Same as always. They feel fine, but I can't wear my contact lenses until I've had my contact lens optician have a look at them again on Tuesday. It is getting me down because I fucking hate wearing my glasses, and now I'm like permanently fucking chained to them, which is sad, but we you know, we get there, we go through. Ben Stiller is also a nepotism baby. People forgot that. Yeah, but Ben Stiller's funny, and the rule of life is you can be as fucking awful as you want as long as you're funny, because people like funny. There's different kinds of nepotism, says Sophie. I mean, to be fair, Charlotte Flair is talented. No. She's talented as a wrestler, but she's like Ricochet. Once the mic is in her hand, she's awful. Although Ricochet's getting better. Don't forget, at least she didn't claw out your eye like Toby. Toby thinking he had a contact lens in when he didn't, and just rubbing the surface of his eye constantly. No brainer, what starter I'm using? Oh, in ZA. Oh, you're playing Legends Argos. Argos. What starter are you picking? Collection point 2. I assume you're going to be choosing Roulette. Stop this. You're going to upset him. Upsetty spaghetti. Legends Argos. Oh, Sophie's got a better way of explaining it. That's a good point. Sophie's point is there's a different type of nepotism in, like, the kind of Ben Stiller nepotism is where you can live up to your family name without people constantly just remembering, oh yeah, you're so-and-so's kid. You know so-and-so. That's why you're famous. Whereas with Charlotte Flair, the nepotism is, by the way, did you know my dad's Ric Flair? Do you know my entire gimmick and my finisher and my catchphrase is all based on Ric Flair, my dad? Did you know I'm the daughter of Ric Flair? Did you know the more titles I earn, the closer I get to breaking my dad Ric Flair's record of number of championships? Whereas, you know what I mean? There's a big difference. Whereas Ben Stiller, you go, oh, did you watch that Ben Stiller movie? And very rarely do people go, oh yeah, but he's only famous because of so-and-so. You know what I mean? You ever play... What? Yeah, I think I summarized pretty well. Legends Argos, what in the new game this year? I thought it was Legends EA. Oh, you see, my joke was better, Oliver, but... I mean, if I ever play Legend... If I ever play Legends EA, I'm choosing Tepig because I started watching the anime with black and white. Alright, you don't need to justify it to me. Play with whatever Pokemon you want. You're right, Flex. Says I'm making Legends Argos box art now. I mean, if I ever... Sorry, my finger slipped. I never apologize for my finger slipping. It always goes in the right hole. Liam, you're being impatient. Ditto can't breathe that fast. At least Dominic Mysterio's gimmick is the complete opposite of his dad. What do you mean? His dad's Eddie Guerrero. And he does a great job. I've turned into a Raichu now. Don't I look better? Dom is his own entity. And also, Dom is a hilarious heel, but also has found a way to make me dislike him by being a Trump supporter. And I'm like, no, Dom, you were one of the good ones. Yeah, Brock's a piss boy, human traffic abater. Abetter, sorry. Aider. Enabler. Enabler, there we go. Roman Reigns is really cool, but literally recently said how Trump was a positive and competent leader. You know, daylight savings is really bad. You know, think about it. Your grandma's in the hospital. She's only got a few hours to live. Thank you, Metapod.
Bro Metapod Ultra, 80 months. Undrinkable water symbol emoji.
Oh, why does
Undrinkable
he say
water
emoji?
symbol emoji. Undrinkable water symbol emoji.
God damn it. Thank you for the 80 months, Metapod. Ace Trainer Ultra. Salutes in chat for the Ace Trainer Ultra. Thank you very much. 80 months. That's almost a year. Raichu Liam is better than Person Liam. I mean, Raichu Liam isn't as good as Naked Person Liam. So, you know, there's that. I've got that going for me. I'm out for now just so I can take care of a few things. Yeah, no worries, Clover. Have a good one. Vince screwed Vince. We all know that. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yes, to continue what I was saying. Daylight savings. We really need to get rid of that. It's so terrible. You know, your grandma's in the hospital. She's only got like an hour to live. And then daylight savings happens. You lose that hour. Grandma dies earlier. That's the president. And he said that, what, in the last 12 months? Why is it, right? I'm just questioning, right? How old is Donald Trump? I think it's 84.
Donald Trump is 78 years old.
Okay, it's not 84, it's 78. But what I'm saying is, right, I've heard over my lifetime of loads of people dying of old age at like the age of like 67, 68. Why in the world is Trump able to live to 78 and is still living to this day? Where's his old age? Where's his death? You know? I'm not wishing death on anyone, but I'm just saying a lot nicer people have died of old age earlier than Trump has. And I think the bill comes due. That was less than a month ago, right? Because heaven and hell don't want him. One of the many other reasons why I don't believe in a god. A god would never allow someone like Trump to keep going this long. Why is he living to 78? It's all that golf. The Simpson predicted his death. Which one? Bart or Lisa? These are the emotions this government are making me feel. Oh, Dorkachu. At least we got emojis for them all. McDonald's. 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 Kentucky Fried Chicken out of Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut's wank. It should have been Domino's. COVID nearly got him, but they pumped him full of drugs. Yeah, he got that rich person money for rich person drugs. You know there's actually a cure for cancer. It's just the poor man can't afford it. It is a conspiracy. That's what people think happened to Kylie Minogue when she had cancer. But it's warranted on nothing. It's such a... Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's why. JD Vance has been disagreeing with Trump bills lately. That's because JD Vance, right, let's face it, someone who was an outspoken anti-Trump person for so many years until Trump said, hey, you want to be in my cabinet? You want to be my vice president? And JD Vance went, if I'm the vice president and something happens to the president, I become president. Therefore, I just need to get rid of Trump once I'm his vice president, and then I'm the president. So JD Vance is playing the long game with the most punchable face on Liam's green earth. Did the Pope snub him? God damn. And that's crazy, because JD Vance has got a proper, like, little boy face. You think the Pope would love him. Sorry, that's really mean to say. The Pope doesn't look at little boys' faces. Oh! Stop it! Stop it, Liam! I can't help it. The Vatican is ruined on me. Vance is too busy fucking couches. He fucks couches? Deformed Cabbage Patch Kid motherfucker. Giving Rowlett an Argos pen bigger than Rowlett. I love it. That's something to open stream too. Yeah, right. How you doing, Kaylee? Hello, Night Angel. How's the Soul Link, you two? He sent another priest to give him a speech on compassion, but never went to see him in person, so he couldn't get any photos. Apparently, JD Vance fucked a couch or something. I mean, we can't say much in the UK because we've got fucking David Cameron who fucked a pig's head, allegedly, in college. Solink was yesterday. Yeah, but you both arrived at the same time, so I figured, like, maybe you just come from doing some more souling. I don't know what days of the week you souling. I don't know your schedule. I barely know my own. What's the difference between a priest and acne? Oh, no, 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 no. It's not a stereotype. I don't think... What stereotype? Where did that stereotype about Catholic priests and boys come from? It came from the number of Catholic priests who were found to be guilty of doing things to young boys. Come on, mate. You've got... Sir Goth Nerd, I love that you love this channel and you're always in the streams, but it really winds me up that you forget that you have the information superhighway at your fingertips. Everything you don't know, your first instinct, and this is what they should teach in day 1 of computer class at school. If you don't know something, it's quicker to ask Google than it is to ask other people and wait for an answer. So, like, if someone says something and you're like, oh, what does that mean? Literally, don't ask the other person what it means. That just derails the conversation. Just nip into your browser and go, what does this mean? In this draft league, I'm 2-1. Pop it off. Go on. Living Colour live and Living Colour at WrestleMania. Oh, Living Colour live and in Living Colour at WrestleMania. There we go. I thought you were saying, like, there's a difference between them live and then live at WrestleMania. And then I remembered, no, Liam, you just think there's a difference between in Living Colour and the studio and in Living Colour playing at WrestleMania and changing all the notes. Marty about MGS5, the shotguns are some bullshit. Have you thought about doing the combat deployment where you can get rid of the sheds that provide the guards with shotguns so that they don't have them? There's my first game 3 to which I won. Hell yeah. Sophie Easter post is hopping. Sophie's done an Easter post. Poster Easter. An Easter poster. A poster. Stop. All right. All right, the first thing on my feed was Jordan Grace, and god damn those quads. Christ. Let me send that to Jess. Jess will appreciate. I'm going to go to tier a star and look for the... Holy moly, that's my fucking wife to be. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then I'm going to say one of my favorite Colossal is Crazy quotes, which is 1 millimeter to the fucking left and you would see her fucking snatch. Love that quote. It's so Liam. Oh, no. The worst thing ever. When you try and share someone's post to your story and you go, I'll put a little emoji on it, big in the corner, and you go to resize the emoji and you resize the post, which makes it the top layer, which then means that you've got to move the picture and then move the emoji and then put the picture back, and it's never quite where you want it, even though they have that snapping feature. And I know Sophie agrees because I heard the in the background. Cena will likely win because Cody's had the upper hand in the last couple of segments they did. Yeah, but you say that, but you're forgetting the most important thing, Sonny, and that is marketing. And what's the most recent marketing thing? Cody Rhodes goes into Fortnite this weekend. Now, what don't you do as good marketing? Have the guy you just put in a popular video game be a loser at the biggest event of the year during that same weekend. Cody's going to win for Fortnite. He's going to win for Tomato Town. You know, I didn't know Paul Rudd was before Ant-Man. Well, that just means you're an uncultured swine who's never watched the Hellraiser series, who's never watched Friends, who's never watched other Paul Rudd things. Yeah, I'm tired of life. What? Clovers? Oh, Clueless! Fuck me, I forgot Clueless existed. It is a good film, but fuck me, that's it. You've reached there. Good grief. God damn. I'm gonna eat a baby. Oh! Okay, what happens in your mind, Liam? Well, apparently I eat people. That's not good. I've watched too much Silence of the Lambs. This game is ruthless already. Oh, Metapod's finally playing Legends Arceus, by the way. Or as he called it. No, I'm not going to make fun of him this time. Oh. Hello, Chris. How you doing? What kind of uncultured swine forgets Clueless? Night Angel, I forget things I've said moments ago. Cut me some slack. How do you think my memory works with things I didn't make? If you fail this trial, you have to leave the wilds and likely die. Exactly. Brutal, innit? I knew him since Friends. His character is one of the few tolerable characters outside the main characters. I think there were lots of tolerable characters outside the main characters. There was Gunther. Liam, rest his soul. I need to break that habit. Just in the last couple of days, I've started saying Liam instead of God in, like, God rest his soul. Or for God's sake, I start saying for my sake. That's not good. Stop eating babies, Liam. I can't help it, man. It's like the best kind of brisket. Wraith Angel, he's 32. That's incorrect if you're on about me. And has stress with planning his wedding. I'm not planning it, but thanks. And streaming. That I am doing. And that's not stressful. Yeah, I'm older than 32. God damn. Hello, Easy. How you doing? Everyone welcome, Easy. How you doing, Easy? Outside the character, the main characters date. Outside themselves, don't have much personality. I mean, Charlie was annoying, but she had personality. Like, she had a whole backstory. Bruce Willis was Bruce Willis. That was amazing. The former ugly kid turned hot guy that Brad Pitt played was fucking awesome. Emily had a character, but also she had the least favorite British accent of all the British people. To the point where, like, Americans, they're just like, her, she got that British voice. Whereas British people are like, oh God, she sounds fucking intolerable. Janice was amazing. Janice is a fucking underrated character. Because, like, people go, oh, I don't like Janice because she just annoys me. Her voice is annoying. And when you're older, you go, yeah, that's the point of the character. She's supposed to be. Yeah, she's got that British voice. Which one, Headass? Oh, Tom Selleck is a fucking godsend. Oh, no one in the history of mustaches has ever given me more mustache envy than Tom Selleck. If I can look half as good as Tom Selleck when I'm his age, I'll still be sad. Because I want to look closer to him. Wedding invites be like Sophie's wedding featuring Liam, basically. Paul the wine guy. Joshua. Who's Tom Selleck? Oh God, there's no hope. Magnum PI? No, Tom Selleck was not Magnum PI, was he? No, he might have been. Who the fuck? No, Magnum PI was a wrestler, Liam. Tom Selleck was who that wrestler was based on. No, you're wrong. I think Magnum TA was the wrestler who was based on Magnum PI. He was Magnum PI. If I type in Magnum TA, yeah, Magnum TA was a wrestler who had a similar mustache to Tom Selleck. Is Liam finally invited to Sophie's wedding? I mean, invited or not invited, I'm going to a hotel room after the wedding regardless. I'm watching this and playing Pokemon Heart Gold. Ooh, whereabouts in Heart Gold are you? Oh, Phoebe's brother was great. I like Janice and Chandler. Janice and Chandler parents. I liked... oh, no, yeah. I like Chandler's dad. And I like... Oh, Chandler's mum was funny as well. And also, Ross and Monica's parents were fucking amazing. What? It's my birthday. I just clicked here to talk about Janice. Was that Janice from Coronation Street? Janice from Friends. Scylla, you were wrong about both. Both phrase Ragnar PI. I think it was a show, not seen it. That's all right. We've covered that. You might be behind on stream, Oliver, because you're answering things a couple of minutes after they've been said. Maybe you just type slowly. Wish Joey was more successful. What? The show that was terrible that came after Friends? I'm glad it died because it was bad. But were they actually on a break? They were on a break, but the older that you get, you realize, yes, Ross and Rachel were on a break, so technically they can sleep with whoever they want, but there's a certain lack of tact in sleeping with someone so soon after the break has begun. So they're both in the wrong. Like, Rachel is a bit in the wrong because she did choose to be on a break, but then Ross is in the wrong because fucking hell, like, he went straight for it like a bullet out of a fucking gun. Which is, you know, kind of gives the message of, oh my God, I just couldn't wait to sleep with someone else. Even though, you know, yeah, and also lack of communication in deciding what the break meant. If ever you're on a break, you don't just go, we're on a break. You sit down and you define the confines of the break and the, you know, the, what's the word? The parameters of the break. So you go, okay, we're going to go on a break. It's going to be probably this long, but we'll revisit it at the end of that time and see if we want to extend it or not. And the rules are you can do this, 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 and this with other people. Although, probably give it the first week before you really do anything with anyone. You know, just out of respect for each other. But if Joey wasn't cancelled, Simon might never got on TBBT. Oh! I know what you mean, yeah. The break thing is from Friends. It is. There was a break, but no break for the break to actually break. Yeah, exactly. That's, you know what? That defines it so well, though, Flicks. They were on a break, but they didn't give it a break for the break to break. My opinion, if you need to go on a break, it's not going to work in the long run. Oh, I've said this as someone who was once in a relationship where we decided to go on a break, and 3 days into the break, the other half decided, oh yeah, no, actually, I'm just going to end it completely because I've already met this guy that you think I've been cheating on you with, which she was. I'm always there, like, if you're at a point where you're so sick of your partner that you're like, I need time away from you, and we're gonna go on a break where we can see other people. That sounds like you don't really want to be with that partner. It sounds like you want the chance to be with other people. And therefore, there's no point in having a break. So, realistically, the adult way of doing things is if your partner says, I think we should take a break, then you say, well, if we're going on a break, that's the end of the relationship, so we might as well just call it. Because it will automatically, much in the same way that when you break up with someone, there's always someone in that pairing that wanted to break up, and then there's always someone in that pairing that was broken up with. That changes each person's perception of the relationship. So, like, if you go on a break from a relationship, the other person then starts thinking in their mind, they wanted to leave. They wanted to be with other people, and that sticks in their mind. And then much in the same way that if you tell someone you want to go on a break, and then that person sleeps with someone else while they're on the break because you've told them we're on a break, so go do something with your life, then that person goes, oh, so they would get with someone else if I told them we were on a break. Oh, well, that changes things. So, you know, you're creating dissension in your own relationship, so it's not worth it, in my opinion. Then again, what do I know about relationships? I've been in one for 6.5 years, and I'm about to marry her! Hell yeah! I guess I win. Sophie wins, because Sophie got her first boyfriend in 2018, and is marrying him this year. So she wins. Everyone can be angry at her. I still say to her from time to time, like, I'm angry at you, because you've never had to go through a breakup, and you never will. You've never had to go through the dating scene of, like, she's never used Tinder and that shit. And it's just like, motherfucker, you just find a boyfriend. You've been invited to the wedding yet? That joke was made earlier. You're still behind on stream. Yeah, unless it's a break in which it's like, I just need time away from you, in which case it isn't a break. That's being an adult and giving each other space. Yeah, there's a difference between going on a break and just giving each other space. Like, just give me a few days to myself. Or, you know, I'm not going to sleep with anyone else. I'm not going to get with anyone else. I just want a few days on my own. That's fine. Tinder sounds like a nightmare, but it has its moments. Sophie wins, hands down. Hands down my pants. Way! Yeah, that's what we're saying. Ross and Rachel are on a break because of the arguments and Ross's paranoia and jealousy, not because they didn't want to be together. Yeah, but paranoia and jealousy, the solution to that is not going on a break. The solution to that is giving each other a bit of space. But going on a break is terminating the relationship temporarily. But then, like you say, Ross was like shit off a shovel. He went straight out with it. But then this is the thing, right? If you are not the person... Like, if you're not the person initiating the break... So, like, for example, Rachel said to Ross, I want to go... Like, we're on a break. Like, it's then weird for the person who initiated the break to then be upset when the other person does something within the confines of the break. But again, Ross did it way too quick. But at the same time, it's like, you did tell me to go sleep with other people, like, technically. They're both wrong. Yeah, they've both got arguments that are correct. But both their behavior is stupid. It's why it's the best argument in scripted programming history. If you're paranoid and don't trust your partner, then either there's already issues in the relationship or you need to work on your own trust issues. And I also think that's something that needs to be worked on together. It's like Sonny was saying, Ross had paranoia issues because of his past with Carol. Yeah, because like Carol was effectively cheating on him with a woman. And like, it doesn't matter that she was cheating on him with a woman. What matters is that she was spending loads of time with this special friend that just gets her in a way that no one else gets her while she's married and having a kid. Well, she didn't know she was having a kid until very close to the end, did she? But you know what I mean. That's why he's paranoid, but also he needs to sit down and talk about this with his partner. But that's the thing. You have to remember that in the early days of Friends, they were all like 26, 27-ish. And Rachel even younger, I think. So it's like, you have to kind of remember that these are adults that are going to make mistakes. And that's what they do. That's where if they didn't make any mistakes, there wouldn't be a show. Who is anyone in the story and what's going on? Oh, watch Friends, mate. It's worth it. Trust me. I'm on Unite if anyone wants to join. Ooh. We need to rewatch Friends. We haven't rewatched Friends since Matthew Perry died. So we'll get on that at some point. We're watching One Piece, though. Ooh, chorizo pizza. Mucho Italiano. I don't really like sitcoms, but you've not watched Friends all the way through and gotten to bond with the characters and then watch all of their ups and all of their downs. Because the thing I find about Friends, right? I know a lot of people that don't like Friends for a long time. And then they watch more than a single episode that's appeared on like Comedy Central or something. And they go, oh, I actually watched like a big chunk of like Friends episodes in order. And I really got into it. Because it's one of those shows where the main draw of the show is the overarching story of the characters. Which isn't always covered in a single episode. Because, unlike a lot of sitcoms where it's like bottle episode, self-contained problem that is solved by the end of the episode. With Friends, there is an overarching story that continues for literally 10 years. Which is wonderful. You don't get a lot of that nowadays. Now it's just make something funny and then resolve it by the end. Or, even though I love the early series of the show, one thing Big Bang Theory did towards the end of their run is there'd be a problem in the episode, and then the main joke of the episode would be, at the end, it just doesn't get resolved. And doesn't get revisited later. Like, you just go, oh, so did they not? Oh, okay, the episode's just ending now. Okay. It's so popular in England, they made their own version called Coupling, and I've seen clips. I don't believe that, but a lot of sitcom reviewers said that, so hey. I've never heard of Coupling. Rachel's Trifle. Oh, lovely. I've only ever seen a few episodes of Friends, and yet this On a Break arc is just that iconic. Yeah, exactly. Liam, any success with Tauros? No. You got Shiny Mewtwo today. Well done. Being a crybaby last stream worked. What's my motto? Complain and ye shall receive. Don't think Ross and Rachel realistically last together after the ending. I don't think so. I don't think they were good for each other. I'm very... Because they broke up so many fucking times as well that it's just like... Their relationship is inherently flawed. And there's deep-seated layers of resentment. I think they'd need years of couples counseling to even have a chance of staying together. But what I do think is, I think in the overarching story of Friends, Joey would have been the best person for Rachel. If they could have worked their shit out, that would have been the good ending for Joey. Because those two, like, he cared. Like, his character, I'm not talking about, like, I know they're not real people, but, like, Joey's character cared so much for Rachel that, like, he'd have finally stopped being this promiscuous fucking lad bloke and would have actually settled and proper, like, took care of her and stuff, which is what Rachel was ultimately looking for. She was someone who wanted to be taken care of, but also still respected. Chandler and Monica, sleeper hit of the show, fucking brilliant. They did make a Joey spin-off, and my God, I'll never get that time back. They really went, oh yeah, everyone liked Joey, so a show just about Joey would be funny, and it's like, no. Joey's funny because of the way he interacts with all the other characters. Joey's character works as a character within a group. He doesn't work as the lead. But yeah, like going back and watching Friends is realizing that it's the whole story of Friends is Chandler and Monica's success story.
No, that is not Solid Snake.
Thank you. All right, Taser. I wish I was alive back then. I could have made the Joey spin-off work. I sincerely doubt that, with all due respect. That reminds me. I haven't seen Friends, but why would you take a show about a friend group and make a spin-off show with only one of them? Because there was only one of them that really had an unresolved story. Like, Phoebe and Mike had grown up. They gotten married. They were happy. They were off to make their own life. Chandler and Monica were having their twins. They were off having their own life. Like, they'd succeeded. Ross and Rachel were trying for the umpteenth time, and they already had a kid, so, trying to make that work. And then there's just Joey, who's just living in New York, and that's it. Chandler Joe in my phase when I was young. I was always a big Chandler lad. Like, most people could tell from my personality that I grew up watching Chandler. Chandler is best boy. Oh, yeah, I agree. So Sophie says, I would argue that Ross and Joey are just as funny. And they are. They're all funny in their own ways. Ross's physical humor is untouched, yeah. No one does physical humor like fucking David Schwimmer in that show. Rachel and Ross's argument after the break is fucking peak. The whole argument about the letter from the Weird Beach episodes. Also, unrelated to anything, Ross's missus, who shaves her head during the beach segment, cracking body. She's the one I always forget about. So, like, we get to the beach section. I'm like, oh, the argument's coming up. And then that bird turns up and I'm like, oh, I forgot about you. Let's go. And then she shaves her head and I'm like, still works. Still would. I'm the only living twin from my family. My mum, before she died, was a twin with my uncle. And obviously, like, it's going to be with her brother. And then my dad, separately in his family, is a twin with his brother. So another uncle of mine. So the likelihood of, like, twins being in my... And it's also in Sophie's family. So even though twins are supposed to, like, skip generations or something, I feel like me and Sophie just had a... what's the word? A melding pot. A melting pot of just... We probably would have ended up with twins. Thank fuck I was smart and went, I don't like children at all. I'm not bringing them into the world. I don't need that shit. Did I miss anything? The toilet. Go clean it up. How you doing, though, hero? You missed me hatching lots of eggs that don't have shiny Tauros in. My family doesn't have a single twin. Well, no, they come in pairs. Way! Sorry, that was too easy. Oh, so Mossy was saying, not long before this weekend, his 1-year-old son trapped his own finger in the fucking door and had a big scream. So Mossy's like, do you know what? To be fair, because no, it's his thumb. And it's the thumb specifically that he sucks. So, like, he'll subconsciously start sucking that thumb when he sleeps. And that's his poorly thumb that he trapped in the door. So he'll start crying again. And so he's just like, yeah, to be fair, of all the 2 days for WrestleMania to be, we picked the perfect time. And I'm like, this is why I'm here in this child-free zone. You see my extremely nerdy Mewtwo nickname? I named after a Spider-Man character. Did you name him Green Goblin? Or did you name him... Where is it? You called him Kane after Spider-Man's second and more violent anti-hero clone from the comics. That's gotta be Kane! This should not make me laugh. Night Angel is her own twin. How are you your own twin? Did you reabsorb your twin in the womb? Because that's murder, according to half of America. Hevat! Oh. Lift and slide. Oh my god. Babe, Night Angel's a prenatal murderer. Night Angel murdered her own twin in the womb. She ate her. Or him. Or them. So according to certain areas of America, she's a murderer. She should go to prison. What's the statute of limitations on prenatal murder? I'm a fraternal twin like your mum as well. Ah. Yeah, but you're not dead like my mum, so you're winning. If I'm a child, what does that make you, Lois? Way. Can I just get a fucking Tauros? Always knew you were evil. That's why she goes by Night Angel. It's to throw people off the scent. Technically it's manslaughter because it was unintentional. You don't know that. How do you know she didn't just dream really hard? Like, I'm not having a sister. I'm not playing second fiddle to this bitch. Look at her. Bundle of fucking cells. Just absorbs her. Now you can live on as a little growth in my shoulder. Shoulder guy. What you say, Soph? Oh, the butterfly effect with Ashton Kutcher. Oh my god, remember Ashton Kutcher? Hey guys, this is Punked. Dude, you know, they could have made Shiny Paldean Tauros lamer if they tried. Oh yeah, they could have just changed its eye color, but they'd never do that with a Pokemon, would they? Stewie versus Bertram, exactly. They could have been like, what if we give the shiny Water Tauros blue eyes and the shiny Fire Tauros red eyes? Then they're different, right? I want to know who it is at Pokemon that was slacking when it came to some of the shinies in this game and why they weren't fired and why their designs were approved. No sheen. Also, just remember, for anyone that asks how many eggs, the answer is I don't care. I've realized in shiny hunting, I don't care how long it takes me, as long as I get the shiny. And the thing is, if it's quick, you know it's quick, because you go, oh, it's a very short time since I started hunting. That's quick. If it's any longer than that, it's a long hunt. We're the same person as Garchomp shiny, right? The shiny Charcadet line is atrocious. It's so atrocious. We could have got an Armarouge that was like a blood red all over, and a Cerule Edge that was like a Mega Man blue or something. But they went, no, let's just change that eye color. How many eggs could be how many Easter eggs you got, lol? Well, I don't get Easter eggs because I don't celebrate Easter, and also I don't celebrate chocolate because it's bad for Liam. So, oh wait, Liam, you need to make the eggs. Oh yeah, shit. Fucking hell, Liam. You are an idiot. Yes. But I'm a handsome idiot with a big ego. Damn straight. Or a black mouse hold. Liam, you got them the wrong way around. No, I didn't. Armarouge is red and yellow, but you could make it like fully blood red as a shiny. And Cerule Edge, which is like purple and blue, could have been like a Mega Man blue, which would be different, but still in keeping with their names. Thank you very much. I knew exactly what I was saying. Just because everybody's main point is normally, oh, you should make it so the red one goes blue and the blue one goes red. You don't have to be that obvious. You could still make it a different looking shiny without just swapping their colors. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of like Torterra. Torterra has a decent shiny, right? And all it does is the forms of green it has change. Ignore me. That's all right. It's not just you, Kaylee. About 3 different people tried to correct me there, and all of them were wrong. And it was lovely because I got to be smug that not everything I say is predictable. Hey, Liam, when did you turn into Raichu? I know it's not funny, but I still try my best. That wasn't your best. Shiny default Gengar needs the mega colors. It does. I say this all the time, and I'll say it until the day I die. If you want to see what shiny Gengar should look like, go into Pokemon X and Y and get Gengar to use Dazzling Gleam. And for a split second, you get what Gengar's shiny should look like. That was a nice border. When were shinies introduced? I don't think there was any in Gen 1. There weren't. There were no colors in Gen 1, unless you put it in a Game Boy Color and then it just had a default blue or red look to it. Gen 2. That is egg power. Liam, what? You get shinies in Gen 1? Well, you can, yeah, but they don't. You can't get them to appear shiny in Gen 1. Because you have to get a very certain stat on a Pokemon, send it to Gen 2, and it becomes shiny, and it's weird. But hey, people like to hunt them, and I'm like, fair play to you. All these Tauros make me hungry for a burger. Yeah, fair play. Shame it doesn't make you hungry for a spelling lesson. Why am I so bitchy today? We need to stop shiny locking. We do! Shiny locking is one of those things that I'll never understand. Because the only cogent argument that I've ever heard is, oh, you know, like in Pokemon X and Y, when you encounter Xerneas and Yveltal, there's a little cutscene where you see Xerneas or Yveltal, and then when you go into the battle, if it then has a different color as the shiny, it will be confusing for children. And like, first off, children don't give a fuck. Secondly, anyone that sees it with the shiny animation is going to go, oh my god, a fucking shiny, what a lovely surprise. And then also, I'm pretty sure in Pokemon Let's Go, if you encounter Articuno in the static encounter, it's its regular colors, but if it's shiny in the battle, you only find out once you're in the battle. So it's like, why like they've gone against their own argument in games before. And even if it's like, yeah, but we want to distribute them later down the line as like, you know, we'll partner up with GameStop and somehow there'll be some kind of money transaction where GameStop give us money or we give GameStop money or something to distribute these codes. And then those codes will get more people to go to GameStop and buy merch, but they'll get a shiny for it. And it's like, you could still do that and have the shinies unlocked in the games, because realistically, out of all of the Pokemon players in the world, how many realistically are going to go to the effort to soft reset for a shiny legendary over and over and over again? Like, I've done it on stream before, but like, I don't remember the last time I did it off stream as like oh, I'm just going to do this to pass the time, you know? Not everyone's that dedicated to get those shinies. But the fact that they're available to be caught as a, you know, found as a surprise, it's like, I don't know. There's just no reason to shiny lock them. I've been listening to the Warhammer books as audiobooks, and the sass in those only rivals Liam. God damn. I mean, I grew up watching Jack's films, so that's where my fucking sass came from. I'm a product of what? Jack's films, Chandler Bing. And just a bastard. Hello, Curtis. You partying? Parting those ass chicks. Stop it. It seems regular once the battle starts to shiny. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Broman knows. Broman just got Mewtwo. Let's go. Or as we call him, Kane. Hello, friends. I'm new here. Hello, Curtis. How's your day treating you? Everyone welcome Curtis. Hate shiny locking them. Makes sort of challenge to find them, like the max layers. Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with that? Why are Pokemon so adamant on being like... The only thing I can think of, right? In fact, no, I can't even think of that. I was going to say, like, in Paldea, for example, maybe they had some trouble with the overworld static encounter Pokemon, like the legendaries, when you find the legendary treats. Maybe they were like, we can't seem to program it so that the overworld version isn't shiny if it's going to be shiny. But I'm pretty sure the static encounters in the overworld, they actually just used a separate model than the one that you're going to encounter anyway. Hence why the stats can be different and stuff. So that wouldn't have been a problem either. So I don't know. I think they're just twats. Because surely it's extra programming to go, oh, make sure that Pokemon there can't be shiny. Like, lock that one. So dumb. I think shiny locking starters was done so that it wouldn't mess with the cutscenes, just so that people can actually play the game. But this is the thing, is realistically, the majority of Pokemon players are, when the brand new game is out, are going to want to get in and play. So they're going to not bother shiny hunting the starter, and they're just going to get in and play. So you're only looking at a small percentage of players that are going to sit and play the intro over and over again to get a shiny starter. So even locking the starters doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, to be fair, I'd still get the shiny mystery gift even if I had it because it's a shiny. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, starters weren't in cutscenes in Gen 5, which is weird. It's no, it's the spawning system. It's not more work. It's just how static spawns are done. The shiny is a binary variable of on or off. Well, then they need to fucking set them all to on. There's no reason. Tell me a reason, Joe. Tell me a reason. What was the reason? Need to remove shiny locking so it could take another 2 years for shinies. On means guaranteed shiny. Oh! Why can't they... I feel like, why can't they make that randomized? How can they program shinies to be like 1 in 4096, but they can't do that for static encounters? That's weird. That sounds dumb. One moment, these two brothers are talking to each other. One makes a joke about being obsessed with motorbikes, and the motorbike responds with the most under-the-belt comeback, like, I hear you do strange things to your bike. That's funny. I hear you do strange things to your army. Oh. Pokemon is a single-player game, so people should be able to do what they want. Yeah. Where if the new game players have 2 switches, one to play progress play and the other to shiny reset. Well, this is the thing as well, is like realistically, you could just play the early part. If Pokemon are like, no, we just don't want someone starting the game with a shiny Pokemon because it's not fair on others. Yet I could just get further in the game than say my little brother if I had one. And I could then breed a shiny of the starter. And then when my brother starts the game, I could just trade him as soon as trading is available, a starter that's shiny, and then he can play the game with the shiny. So what's the difference? It's one of the most pointless things that just, it's never been proven under any metric that shiny locking is good. Like, the only way I could think about it being a good thing is maybe it's a really easy way to tell if a competitive Pokemon is hacked or not. Because if you make a Pokemon shiny locked and someone turns up at a tournament with a shiny of that Pokemon that for that particular rule of the tournament isn't accessible because they have to be from a certain game, then you could argue, well, if you've got a shiny Palkia in this game, that's not possible. But, like, it's still dumb. Because, like, especially with, like, nowadays with Pokemon Home, you can transfer shinies from fucking everywhere. And the game will just change them to be compatible because it will go, oh, well, this Pokemon can't have this move anymore, so now the move is gone. Or it can't have this ability, so now the ability's gone and stuff. Know what I mean? Yeah, they just make the Hackmon non-shiny, exactly. So it's not preventing anything. I can't think of a cogent reason. I can't think of a sensible reason why taking player agency away from the player is such a good thing. We talk about how lush shiny Chi-Yu and Koraidon are. If we had one... I don't know why the legendaries you unlock from snacks worth a shiny lock. Well, this is what Joe was saying. It's the way static encounters work in the game, the way they're programmed. They're programmed to have an on and an off switch. So basically, the static encounters, with the way they programmed it, they can say it's either always shiny or it's never shiny. So they chose to have it never shiny. But my mind is like, you program the entire game. You programmed encounter tables of wild Pokemon that have a 1 in 4,096 chance of being shiny, which is also something you can change with modifiers inside the game itself, like sandwiches and outbreaks and stuff. But you're telling me that they couldn't have changed the static encounter shiny opportunity to, instead of be on and off, just to be a randomized 1 in 4,096, even if it wasn't changeable by the shiny charm or anything, even if it was just like raids, it's always 1 in 4,096. Why could they not have done that? Because I could understand if you were asking, like, me, oh, why can you never get a shiny Solgaleo? And I'd be like, oh, because it's an on and off switch, and I don't have the power to set it to anything other than on or off. But Pokemon make the game. So when they go, oh yeah, we can't make the static encounters shiny because they'll have to always be shiny because we either have to have them on or off. Motherfucker, you make the game. You make the code. Just make the yes or the no into a if 1 out of 4,096, yes. If, you know, or if it's anything other than 1 out of 4,096, no. It's so dumb. But I get what starter shiny locks since there are cutscenes with the starter. Not in every game, though. And even if they were shiny, they wouldn't be shiny in the cutscene. But that, to me, that's not a reason. Because they've already set a precedent for that. Like we said, in Pokemon Let's Go, you can encounter a static Pokemon like Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos, Mewtwo. And in their little cutscene where they appear, they are not shiny. But then if you encounter the shiny, they suddenly are shiny once you get in the encounter. And it's like, so that argument dies. Any other company would have made those locked, made these locked shinies to be microtransactions. That's true. Give them time. Know what I mean? Again, shiny locking was made in Gen 5 and the starters don't appear in cutscenes in black and white. That's true. They just appear like they do in any other, Gen 5 or before Pokemon game, where it's just you open a briefcase or whatever. And it just shows you a sprite that can either be shiny or non-shiny. It's dumb. It's fucking dumb. It makes me angry. Like, I haven't ever heard a reason for shiny locking that makes me go, oh, you know what? That makes a lot of sense, actually. Pretty sure Gen 6 and 7 didn't have shiny lock starters. 7 did. I'm pretty sure Gen 7 did until the Ultra games, and then in the Ultra games, they weren't shiny locked. I think that's right. If it's the other way around, that'd be fucked. And Gen 6, I think, were shiny locked. I'm pretty sure. Been a while. It's been nearly 12 years, Liam. Good lord. Heart Gold Soul Silver, the Pokemon appear shiny before you pick them. Yeah. Still saving up for the other games for Switch. Hey, good luck. They're worth it, in my opinion. Oh, thoughts on WrestleMania Saturday? I actually really loved it. Like, I thought it was the weaker of the 2 days looking at the card. Like, I was like, oh, all the matches I'm look forward to are tomorrow. Damn it. But actually, fucking great fucking event. Loved it. Beat that in Sword and Shield. For example, Dynamax Adventures, you didn't fight the shiny, but there's still a chance to get the shiny afterwards. Yeah. A nice way would be the character showing a photo of the starters, and when they get, there's more than one of each type, and Pokeball you get might have a shiny. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Yeah. So these are the starters you could get, but there are 9 Pokeballs to choose from, and each of them have 3 of the same starter in them. Do you want Sprigatito 1, 2, or 3? I'll take number 2. Ding, ding, ding. Sheen. Like, you're not seeing the actual Pokemon you're picking, yeah. Give static encounters a special flashy animation when entering battle with them, Final Fantasy style. Then let it reload and see if it's shiny then, like we do in BDSP and Sword and Shield. Make the returning legends have their encounter animations from the Origin games. That'd be sick. What was the point of Sun and Moon if they released the Ultra versions a year later? Were supposed to be like definitive editions of the game, or were like Ultra games supposed to be for the Switch? Basically, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were what Pokemon Platinum was to Diamond and Pearl, what Pokemon Crystal was to Gold and Silver. They were just enhanced versions of the previous games. So, like, a lot of people complain that, like, oh, in the Ultra games, it's basically the exact same game all over again, and then a bit of extra content thrown in. But they forget that that's exactly what Platinum was. It was Diamond and Pearl all over again, just with extra content and different encounters thrown in. And then Crystal was Gold and Silver all over again, just with different encounters and extra content. So that's why Ultra Sun and Moon were what they were. It was just the first time they decided, hey, let's make an enhanced version, but we will make 2 alternate versions of the enhanced version. And I think that was probably because, like, obviously Sun and Moon had the... If you're playing Sun in the day, it's sunny. It's daytime. And if you're playing Moon in the day, it's nighttime. And they were like, if we make just one enhanced version of this, technically that gets turned on its head because it makes one of the games more the proper version than the other. So we'll do 2. And also it's a way to make more money because we can just... Why do we not just do 2? Certainly, if Black and White remakes are also copy and paste, Kyurem won't be shiny locked, so it wouldn't be fully negative. I'm glad they just make DLCs now instead of making the same game a year later. Oh, we all are. Like, I think DLC is the best thing that happened to Pokemon. Like, people complain, oh, you're locking this behind a paywall. You're locking that behind the paywall. Acting as if they just brought out a full game with the DLC tacked on at the end, they wouldn't automatically pay full price for that fucking second game anyway. So, like, a DLC that's half the price of a full game the next year, to me, is way better than the same game again that I've got to play all the way through, then the DLC added for the price of the full game. Transfer them from home, nothing is locked. True. Got into an argument with someone about that the other day. Oh, God. And knowing the kind of people that argue about that, I bet they came away thinking, well, I'm still right because I was louder and angrier. They were insisting it was Pokemon releasing an unfinished game. Oh, the unfinished game argument. You love to see it. Bruh, play Metal Gear Solid 5, then you'll see what an unfinished game is. God damn. No, it's a good way to avoid data miners from spoiling stuff. Yeah, valid. Where am I? I don't think 6 and 7 had shiny locked shinies. Just the cutscenes between soft resets were so long, there were very few people that bothered. I'm not sure, actually. I mean, I know Xerneas and Yveltal were shiny locked. No, they weren't. No, they weren't, I don't think. I can't remember now. Oh, God. Also, what would you call just one enhanced version? What would you put between Sun and Moon? Well, everyone thought it was going to be Pokemon Stars back in the day. Back in 2017, everyone was speculating, next year we're getting Pokemon Stars. And it was like, yeah, sure. So a fucking YouTube short earlier on told me that Ultra Beasts were 10 years old, and I was like, I don't like that. Certainly they're not 10 years old, they're 12 now, this year. Is there a chance the 3DS Pokemon games like X and Y and Sun and Moon coming to Switch 2? I mean, there's always a chance. Like, it all depends on what Pokemon and Nintendo decide. Like, technically, there's a chance that on the Switch 2, we're going to get, like, Game Boy Advance games, and they're going to put all of the old Pokemon games on there, up to the DS. Or we'll get a DS emulator somehow with a pop-in, like, maybe a detachable, I actually do think, now that we know that the Switch 2 has that, like, top USB-C port that's going to be for, like, the camera and stuff like that, I can actually see someone's argument of they're going to release a DS emulator thing with, you can buy an accessory that is a separate bottom screen that clips to the underside of the Switch, or even to the top side of the Switch, and plugs in to that USB port so that you can play the touchscreen things that the DS had on your Switch 2. I could see that being a thing, and that's how they'll do the DS library. Either have the Nintendo app on a phone or as a touchscreen. That'd be sick, actually. That's a good idea as well, because the Nintendo app, the old Nintendo Switch online companion app is now just going to be the Nintendo Switch app. Or they could completely rework it. I think if you completely rework a game, that's no longer a port, is it? That just ends up being a remake. And at that point, people will go, oh my god, you went to the trouble of reprogramming all this stuff for this game. Why not just remake it completely? You know what I mean? I could go on a rant about how cool the Ultra Beasts are. Yeah, but you'd be preaching to the converted, because I like the Ultra Beasts. But not Kartana. I mean, I don't dislike Kartana, but it was just fucking everywhere for a while. Phone app might work, given they seem to like experimenting with things in the Pokemon Champions thing. The only downside of it, like, being on mobile rather than directly connected to the Switch, like, through a wire, is there might be some kind of delay. And then if you're, like, trying to do super training in an X and Y port, but you can't get the timing right because there's a bit of latency between the Bluetooth connection, that could be an issue. That's where I'd rather have it plugged in. Artana when fire types. Hello, Tauros. Like Kartana as a concept, as Pokemon it's fine. I just hope, but I hope they try the origami thing again. Yeah, like a whole line based on like origami swans or something. Yeah, you'd be juggling with your phone and the controller. Yeah, true. Oh wait, oh no. That was not even close, Liam. Not even close. We might get Legends Alola or Unova after ZA. Well, yeah, because, like, we've had one in... Well, actually, no, that doesn't really make sense. I know you're basing that on the starters that we've had, because we've only ever had Johto, Unova, and Alola starters in the ZA games, which is a good spot, because now we only need Litten, Poplio, and... Litten, Poplio, and Snivy to complete those three trios. But you're forgetting that the first Arceus game didn't take place in Johto. It took place in Sinnoh. And also, the second Legends game isn't taking place in Johto, Alola, or Unova. It's taking place in Kalos. So theoretically, the next Legends game would take place in a region that isn't Kalos, isn't Unova, sorry, isn't Kalos, isn't Sinnoh, isn't Unova, isn't Johto, and isn't Alola. Which leaves what? Hoenn, Kanto, Galar, and Paldea. But they wouldn't do Paldea so soon, I don't think. And they wouldn't want to do... They probably wouldn't want to do Galar because it's so fucking... I don't know. So I feel like we just get either Legends in Kanto or a Legends in Hoenn. But Hoenn has more legendaries than Kanto, so my big guess would be Hoenn. So we'll get a Pokemon Legends game in Hoenn, and the starters will be Poplio, Litten, and Snivy. But then think about it. Think about it. A game in Hoenn with a green snake-like starter, much like Hoenn's green snake-like legendary. Ooh, ooh. Hello, Kuma Kuma. How you doing? Wonder if there's home compatibility to put the older games on NSO. Would be a bit of a waste if not. Guess we'll see. Part of me believes Cyndaquil wasn't a starter for ZA because the Typhlosion claims. Well, no, Cyndaquil wasn't a starter for ZA because Cyndaquil had already been a starter in the previous game. And if we know Pokemon fans, if they use the same starter in 2 different instances of a game, they'll go, that's not fair. Because, you know, Pokemon fans are big fucking whinging babies, even the older ones. What was I going to say? Kanto's overdone too much. I mean, Kanto isn't overdone that much when you think about it, right? Because yes, Kanto was used in Pokemon Yellow, which was the enhanced version of Pokemon Red and Blue, so that doesn't really count. And then Kanto was in Fire Red and Leaf Green, which were the remakes of Pokemon Red and Blue. But then Johto was used as an enhanced version in Crystal, as an enhanced version of Gold and Silver, and was then used in the Heart Gold Soul Silver remakes. So that's the same. And then Hoenn was used in the enhanced version Emerald, which was the enhanced version of Ruby and Sapphire, and then used in the remakes of Auras. And then Sinnoh was used in Platinum, which was an enhanced version of Diamond and Pearl, and was then used again in BDSP, which were the Diamond and Pearl remakes. The only extra time we've used Kanto, really, other than being part of the Johto games, because it was Johto was meant to be the last game. The only other time we used Kanto is in Let's Go Pikachu. Hey You Pikachu had Kanto also. When did Hey You Pikachu come out? And which generation, which region was Pikachu from originally? I do wish that Legends games took place in the past. I mean, one of them does. What's wrong with that? Everyone's doing well. Liam, how did you like Night 1 of WrestleMania? Oh, I just watched it. It was really good. That's how I liked it. Oh, Standard Deliver was great. I watched bits of it. I watched the 2 women's matches and the main event. It was fucking banging. Night 1 of WrestleMania was proper good. I just got back from my boyfriend's parents. Hope you're doing well. Oh, I'm doing all right. Hope everything's good over at your boyfriend's parents and all that. Hope they're all doing well. Definitely Colosseum Gala Darkness will have home compatibility, and to be honest, it'd be lame to get Cyndaquil again. Yeah, realistically, Kanto's only been done once more. I mean, Hey You Pikachu's a spin-off in it, so it don't really count as a main series Pokemon game. So, like, Kanto's been done one more time compared to other regions, and it's just like, yeah. Oh, main event Standard Deliver was baller. Oh, I don't know about the best match in NXT history, but it was really fucking good. Early talk about DS, maybe think about 3DS not turning on. Just did a click when I tried to. Not sure if it's a battery issue. Need to order another one of those these days. Oh yeah, maybe try a new battery before you do anything, yeah. X and Y had the worst story of any game, so I'd definitely rather ZA takes place in the future to expand on it. I wouldn't say it has the worst story, it's just, it had a simpler story because they tried to appeal to kids playing the DS, which is crazy. Now Paseo, that's a region I wouldn't mind having more games to take place in. I've never heard of the Paseo region. Or was that from the Ranger games? Or are you just misspelling something? I can't remember Paseo. Paseo. I did not expect the ending of Night 1 of Mania. See, sadly, so many people on the internet had said, hey, Liam, do you think Rollins is going to side with... Paul Heyman's going to side with Rollins? Because that was the rumor. So, like, that... I was hoping... Oh, it's the one the gacha game is set in. It's from Pokemon Masters. Oh, I don't mind that. I could do without that region. But, yeah, like, I felt like Paul Heyman siding with Seth was too predictable. So I was just like, yeah, it was a cool moment, but I'd rather, like, him just side with Roman and Roman go back to just being a heel that acts like a heel rather than being a babyface that acts like a heel. Or something, but instead it was just, yeah, he's gone with Rollins, which I just, yeah, I'll see how it goes. I'll let it play out. Tauros. That's a big Tauros. Good lord. Chonky. Chonky. Go here, lurking. You have a good lurk, though. You have a good lurk. Oh, drink my tea. Oh, that's stone cold Steve Austin, that is. Yeah, here you are still drinking it. Well, I'm not going to waste this tea, innit? I thought I got myself a can of something out of the fridge. Apparently I didn't. Well, from the taste of it, you got this fucking tea out of the fridge. Good lord. Fridge tea. New Day match does not belong at Mania. No, let me. I've ranted so much about this over the last 24 hours, Levi. They literally booked a TLC 3-way tag team match for the SmackDown titles for the week after WrestleMania. And on the actual WrestleMania card, we got the most basic fucking Monday Night Raw tag team match between the War Raiders, who I'm so bored of, and heel New Day, who just really haven't been capitalized on enough to feel like any kind of fucking threat anyway. I liked that the War Raiders lost, but also I'm just like, why was this not a TLC match? Why are we not having a TLC match at WrestleMania? Were there any fucking stipulation matches last night? I don't think there were. Apart from Triple Threat. Fucking hell. Yeah, that's annoying. Weird how Barry's ancestor wasn't in Legends Arceus and there were Ancestors Society NPCs. I'm going to say a controversial statement, which is, why does it matter? Did you want every character that appears in the Gen 4 games to have an ancestor in Hisui? Maybe Barry's family don't come from Sinnoh naturally. Maybe Barry's family were born in Hoenn and many generations back and then made their way over to Sinnoh. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, when did they ever say his family is descended from other Sinonians or Hisuian Sinonians? Fans booed when the TLC match was announced for SmackDown. No, it's so funny. You could hear the swell of the crowd when they were like, oh, we're getting a TLC match on SmackDown next week. Boo! Yeah, that's one thing the Legends games do a little bit. They do a little bit too much, I feel like, is they go, this character's related to this character. Like, even Star Wars is a bit more subtle with this character knows this character, and this character comes from this character, than the Pokemon Legends games that are just like, everyone, these families are the only people that have ever lived in this town, ever. No one's ever moved from a different city, even though, like, literally when you start in Hoenn, you've moved from a different place. Should have been 6 teams for SmackDown. Pretty Deadly, Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, Legado del Fantasma, Melodome Miz, and Street Profits. That would have been nice. I'm do my first egg hatch for shinies. What is the cheapest level 3 sandwich to use? Let me tell you something, Grim Monkey. Don't waste your time on level 3 sandwiches. There's a level 2 sandwich called the Great Peanut Butter Sandwich, which you can find in your menu quite low down. And literally, like, level 2 egg power is fine. You get about 10 eggs every few minutes. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. Because for a level 3 sandwich, you have to waste Herba Mystica, and that's not worth it. But if you do want to do a level 3 sandwich for whatever reason, just use 2 sweet Herba Mystica. Job done. Master Champa shaved his beard and it doesn't feel right. Oh my god, I've not seen that, actually. Because he used to look like little Triple H. Master Ciampa beard. Tommaso Ciampa forced to shave his beard due to an accident that busted him open. Oh, shit. Ew, I don't like it! Oh. The article was supposed to take me to Instagram. It didn't. It just took me to our friend, my main feed. So our friend Ember's on there in her Lola Bunny cosplay. So guys, go check out our friend Ember, friend of the channel. And also go check out Sophie while you're there, because you fucking better have done already. Hopefully we get the option to play Gale of Darkness on the Switch, 2's GameCube emulator. But they already announced that you'll be able to, didn't they? I'm confused. What? It was in the Switch 2 Direct, was it not? They showed XD Gale of Darkness and Colosseum, didn't they? Silly Billy. Well, Colosseum and Gale of Darkness have home compatibility, which they definitely will. How do you know they definitely will? That's a strong-go statement. Someone's being too optimistic about Pokemon. Yeah, Stadium didn't have home compatibility.
It does smell.
Oh, that's a nice, lovely, lovely burp. Hello there, Joseph Jr. Torres, 29. Thank you for the follow. Technically, Liam, that could be Joseph Jr. Torres 29. Maybe. You don't know. I bet Joseph knows. Go look at Hot Women. Fine, twist my arm, why don't you, Liam? I know, Chris. I'm so sorry that I'm forcing this upon you. That's all right, Curtis. That's why I'm here. I mean, it's not why I'm here, but I'm happy to help. Be very weird if they don't. No, it wouldn't. We just told you. Pokemon Stadium didn't have home compatibility. So when you play Pokemon Stadium on the Switch NSO Online emulator thing, you're forced to use rental Pokemon. Can't see a world where they don't give home compatibility because they have no reason not to. Yeah, but you're forgetting Pokemon's mindset, which is we have no reason to make extra effort. We have no reason to make more effort than we need to. Silly things, silly visual glitches still happen in our games. Like if you select your move too fast in an online game, the little highlight around the Pokemon in the double battle that you're selecting the moves for just remains for the entire turn. We could fix that probably quite easily if we just go in to see what causes the problem and then figure out the outcome. Nah, the game's been out 2 years, fuck it. Does Tomodachi Life Living the Dream have Game of the Year potential? Probably not. Glad Jacob Fatu won the US title. Yeah, it's dirty. Yeah, the moonsault into the BFT was beautiful. That was a great match. And I'm glad LA Knight got to have a good showing at Mania, even if he was losing. But part of me's there like, maybe LA Knight loses so that he can start more main event aspirations. Maybe at some point down the line we get LA Knight versus Cena. Or LA Knight versus Cody. That legit ruined the ports for me. Well, then they're probably going to be ruined for you. You know what I mean? I mean, you say you get emotionally attached to your playthrough team, but like, haven't you always gotten emotionally attached to your playthrough team in the games on the GameCube, which also don't have home compatibility and never will? So like, won't the ports be just as good as the GameCube versions are now, except they'll be portable? Yeah, Jade going from electric chair position into a powerbomb was fucking wonderful. And that jaded, Levi. The jaded, where Naomi just took it all on the face. I've never had a GameCube. Oh. Well then, it'll be as good as it is on the emulators you've played it on. I don't know. So Switch 2 doesn't even have a camera like the 3DS. Does it need one? What are you taking pictures of with your Switch 2? Well, you know, I like to sit on the bus and just have a very incognito camera in case any kids get on. Like, what are you using that camera for? You know, guys, people are already complaining that the Switch 2 is too expensive. And now people are wanting like a high definition phone camera in there that's actually going to be worth using? Or do we want a 3DS quality camera, which was fucking dog shit and wasn't worth being called a camera? We don't need a camera in the Switch 2. That will just up the price and lower the battery life. And it's already, you know, priced like a hybrid console, and it's already got low battery life as it is. You're gonna have to always have it plugged in. I want my Switch 2 to have a camera that was used to film Avengers Endgame. Exactly. Want Jade to lick me like she licked her hand during that pin. Grim Monkey! Valid though, Jade's hot. It made me laugh because, like I said when Jade was walking out, like, mate, let's not forget, Jade Cargill is a specimen. And Sophie was like, hang on, do you mean good or bad? And I was like, good. She's a fucking, like, she's so fucking, look at her, look how athletic she is, and also, she's fucking hot. And Sophie was like, yeah, Liam, you've got to remember, sometimes you say specimen and you don't mean it in a good way. You mean like someone's proper minion. And I'm like, that's a good point. But that's different because there's a difference between, oh, mate, look at that specimen. And oh my God, look at that fucking specimen. Ugh. Heavy speculations, the White 6, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki are the ones that took out Bailey, causing Becky to be Lyra's partner. Only for the White 6 to interfere. Liv has history with Alexa. Anything that gets Alexa Bliss on my TV, I will raise a penis to. I mean, I will raise a glass to. Liam, why can't I have a 4D HD TV 1080p surround sound Switch 2, but it only costs 1p? 1p is? Maybe the C port on the Switch 2 will allow a cell phone holding accessory we could put your camera phone into as an alternate idea. Alright, but hear me out. Connect your cell phone to your Switch 2 via USB-C port so that you can then use the Switch 2 as a camera. Doesn't... What? So, Gen 10 setting be India or Greece. Which one would you prefer? I'll take either. I'm gonna... Brave statements only in this stream. I don't care where a region is based on. I just want to know what the new Pokemon look like. Like, yeah, the region will be cool, but like, do you know how long it's been since I've actually thought about how much Paldea is inspired by Spain? It's been like at least 2 years. Do you know how long it's been since I've thought about how much Galar resembles the United Kingdom? It's been at least 5 years going on 6 years. Like, I just don't care about the regions. Because as someone whose home country has been made into a Pokemon region, or has inspired a Pokemon region, there's that moment of, yeah, cool. Anyway, like, I don't give a fuck. I want Australia, but it's just normal Australia. Yeah, just animals, freak of nature animals everywhere. Greek or Egyptian mythology would have been some fire Pokemon made out of them. Oh, absolutely. I mean, didn't they already make... Oh, no, sorry. The Pokemon that they made out of of Egyptian mythology, that wasn't a fire Pokemon. It was pure ghost. Way! References! Better bet than paying a lot of extra cash for halfway decent Switch 2 camera, like how Apple has storage flexibility to optimize spices. Oh, yeah, no, I get you. It's still, to me, it's still pointless, but I get where you're going with it. Since each Pokemon game is referenced next mainline game, wondering if Scarlet and Violet would have references to the next games. They probably do somewhere, but we won't figure out what they are until next time. Like, we won't figure it out until the next game's region is, like, revealed before we go, oh my god, this random NPC said, I really like Lego bricks. I can't wait for the next game. And then it's based on Denmark or wherever Lego comes from. It comes from factories. Stop this. Yeet indeed, Gizmo. Are you watching some Jey Uso and some Gunther? The Ring General. No spoilers, guys. Gizmo's not seen the results. Go look at Hot Women, find Twist My Arm. I read this already, but I read it again because it said Hot Women in it, and that caught my attention. Pokemon region based on a Chinese sweatshop. Fucking hell. Tariffs. The price of Lego is skyrocketing. Liv Morgan eliminated Alexa Bliss from both the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, and if Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross win the titles, they also become 3-time tag champs just like Liv and Raquel. But also, we could have Alexa Bliss be a single star who wins singles titles, and it means I don't have to look at Nikki Cross, as lovely as she is. I like Alexa when Alexa is on her own. And I get that she probably wants to pay tribute to Bray Wyatt, but she could do that by having a solo run. In my opinion. And being the goddess. TBH. Got me thinking Tariff Simulator and how there isn't a game out of it yet. I'll give it time. Chelsea Green hosts an open challenge. Alexa Bliss wins the women's US title. Yes, please! Ding, 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 ding! Because realistically, right, Alexa Bliss is what? She's on the shelf at the moment because one of the members of the Wyatt 6 is injured. I think it's actually Bo, which is quite bad. So the whole Wyatt 6 then can't appear on TV for some reason. So Alexa Bliss is just sitting there doing nothing. At some point you go, do you know what we could do with Alexa? We could just separate her from the Wyatt 6 and just have her do a solo run as her proper character, the goddess. And then she can just be wrestling and be enjoying wrestling like she wants to. Tried riding Maride on Let's Go Eevee. Been there. I can't every girl be more like Alexa Bliss. Why did I say Galexa? Alexa Bliss? Alexa Bliss. I miss her goddess theme song. I like her current one because it's got a bit of like... It's her original but with a bit more of an industrial feel to it. I like that. But also, her original's a banger. Seems there's a simulator of everything. Oh yeah, you go certain places, they'll simulate being your girlfriend. Might be an option if you've got some spare money. Way! Oh my god, I thought a child hatched from the egg. Oh, that was terrifying. Oh, I thought I'd accidentally had a kid. Oh. Didn't like that. Fucking photobomb by a child. Bastards. Have to throw that photo away. Good grief. I thought it was the shiny. I was like, ah! Ah, yes. When Tauros is shiny, it goes human. Ash, please have a cameo in the Gen 10 games. I mean, the fact Ash hasn't appeared in a single mainline game. He actually has appeared in a mainline game. He appeared in the demo for Pokemon Sun and Moon as the person who gifted us the Battle Bond Greninja, which still doesn't make canonical sense because it only turns into Ash Greninja because of its bond with Ash, and it's not bonded to us, but for some reason, it can still transform into Ash Greninja, even though we're not Ash. Don't forget how crisp Alexa can be in the ring. She had some amazing matches. One of my favorites is her tables match with Becky Lynch, the SmackDown title. Oh, mate, she's incredible on the mic. She's the best talker that I think WWE's women's division has probably ever had. I know that's a strong statement, and it's probably full of bias, but Becky can't hold a candle to Alexa. Oh, Zelina Vega's fantastic on the mic, for sure. But for some reason, Zelina Vega, WWE know how good she is in the ring. They know how good she is on the mic. And WWE have reduced Zelina Vega to, did you know she's Puerto Rican? We're going to put her with the other Latino people because that's what WWE do, apparently. Oh, yeah. You know Zelina Vega, that really good wrestler who could be really fucking good? We made her Queen of the Ring once, but now she's that girl that's Puerto Rican. Did you know she's Puerto Rican? Oh, yeah? Do you want to put her in a title picture? No, we'll just put her in a match where we can emphasize that she's Puerto Rican. That's it. That's all they do. And I'm just like, give that girl a fucking world title, please. The doggy's back. Furry, innit? Right, let's go. We didn't get any sheens. Probably should have checked, but I didn't. Notice a smile after the vignette on SmackDown that gives away that it's her husband, Aleister Black. Lucky bastard. Right? Right? Wait, who's the lucky bastard? Her or Aleister? Because either way, they both lucky. Do you know who's a couple that are both insanely lucky? Buddy Matthews and Rhea Ripley. Like, nobody in that relationship is punching. They are both, like, peak humanity. Buddy Matthews will go down in history as one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. Like, people recognize how good he is, but he never gets pushed. He never gets a push that relates to how good he is. She did play the role of AJ Lee in Fighting With My Family. But they didn't dress her as AJ Lee. They dressed her as Zelina Vega, which was kind of weird. Wish they get real-life couples on the same brand. That would make travel easier, and I'm sure it's hard for them. But then again, they're wrestlers, do you know what I mean? So, like, traveling and being away from your family is quite normal for wrestlers. Like, think about, like, all the wrestlers whose partners are not wrestlers. They don't see them as often because they don't even travel to the towns that the shows are taking part in. They just stay at home and look after the house and the family and shit, and, you know? So why should, like, wrestling couples get preferential treatment just because they happen to be dating someone in the business, you know? Plus we get mixed tag matches that actually mean something. Like, we've got Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth. I mean, valid. But then also, you've got to remember as well, like, I think it is kind of like by design that they keep them separate. Because think about it, right? If a couple is going through some problems, what do you not want to have them doing? Working on the same show, being in the same building constantly, being everywhere the other person is when they clearly need space from the other person. So it's probably by design that, okay, if you two are in a couple with someone that works in our company, we're going to make you two work in effectively different departments, which is sometimes what some companies do. Like, if two people are, like, in a relationship and they're in the same department, sometimes that's against the company policy and one of them will get removed. Or they'll put them in different departments so they can't be distracted while they're at work and stuff. So it could be to do with that, just so you know. I wonder if there's a bit of that in it, like, on a professional side of things. They have some couples on the same show, but they just don't interact like Jimmy and Naomi. Exactly. So it's, you know, it's one of those. It's one of those. I think there's probably good reasons for it, but there's probably also good reasons against it. Yeah, kind of like actors couples, exactly. Ash did appear on Pokemon Yellow. He made this noise. What have I joined? You've joined the best stream ever, Only Embers. How did you not know this from the name of the channel? Hey, Liam, have you seen the Ghostcraft trailer? I haven't. What is Ghostcraft and why should I care? That's not me being mean. That's genuinely like, what is it? I've never heard of Ghostcraft. So is it something I should be excited about? Got an Easter egg lunch. We'll check in later. An Easter egg lunch or egg chicken lunch. I think Ash is one of the name options in the Kanto games. True. Similar to Pokemon, I guess, but it's craft your own Pokemon. Oh, okay. I mean, that doesn't appeal to me because, like, I'm very much a stickler for why would I play something that's like Pokemon when I have Pokemon? Well, unless it's really insanely better, I'm like, yeah. Or if it's different enough like Digimon. Like, Digimon's different enough to Pokemon where I'm like, ooh, I'll play that. I guess it's not necessarily healthy for couples to spend all their home life and work time together with no breaks from each other. I mean, look at me and Sophie, right? Me and Sophie have pretty much lived together for 6 years. We both work from home, so we spend every single day, mostly, in the same building as each other. But I spend about 6 to 8 hours of my day in my office, and she spends 6 to 8 hours of every day either in the bedroom where, like, kind of her studio is, or in the living room where, like, her computer and stuff are. And that gives us enough space away from each other that we're not constantly tripping over each other and we're not, like, burning each other out. Take a look at the trailer and you get the gist of it. I might have a look later. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth is great. What's the one? Oh, yeah, that's the one I need to play before the new one comes out. The one that someone didn't use enough punctuation in, so I thought it was called Digimon Storytime Stranger, which sounded cringe. And then they were like, no, Liam, Digimon Story Time Stranger. And I was like, oh, that's less cringe. I'm just fantasy booking AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. But we could do one better. You know what would be a much better match than that? AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Zelina Vega and Aleister Black. Yes, please. Inject it into my veins. I guess not very healthy. I've read this. I thought Jacob versus Knight was the best match at Mania until that bonkers main event. I tell you what. I mean, my match of the night was Fenix versus El Grande Americano because I'm just a big fucking mark for Rey Fenix. Like, I felt bad because as much as I love Rey Mysterio, and I was really excited to see him versus El Grande Americano. See you later, Tane. I was very much like, when I found out Rey was injured and they were replacing him in that match with Rey Fenix, I was a little bit like, I feel bad celebrating someone getting injured, but the fact that Rey Fenix has been with the company for like 3 weeks and he's already on the WrestleMania card, I'm so fucking happy right now. I feel like it's also a psychological marketing tactic. Have every single woman or man on screen will get these fans wanting to see more of them versus the couple always being together. Oh yeah, didn't think of that. And turning some fans off wanting to watch. That's true because, like, you know, a lot of wrestling fans might be single guys and the last thing they want to see is, oh, look at the hot woman that I've dreamed of being with. Oh, look, there's her partner again, who's a huge jacked guy that I could never dream of looking like. Oh, great. Yep, just remind me that she's dating that fucking loser. Are on the train of, oh, it's definitely Chad Gable. What? What? You booked your ticket for 20th anniversary. Oh my fucking God! Oh no! We're going to a friend's party that day in London because they're celebrating something quite special. And that's on the 25th. Oh shit, I hope it's in the cinema all weekend. Oh. Shit. Maybe I'll have to stop off at the cinema on the way home. It goes until 28th. Oh, thank fuck. Thank you, Gizmo. I need to book that in. Failing that. Sack off the friends. I can't. They've got married. Silly billies. Oh, you're asking... I think you're asking... Because your sentences are on the train of... comma, oh, it's definitely Chad Gable, El Grande Americano. I think you're asking me, are you on the train of, oh, it's definitely Chad Gable? And I don't know if you're wanting me to ask as if I'm a fan that doesn't understand the storyline, or from the perspective of a human with eyes. Like, the whole point of the storyline is it's Chad Gable, but he's pretending it's not Chad Gable because it's a way of getting out of some rut of losing. And eventually he'll be unmasked and it'll be, oh my god, it's Chad Gable. That's why he does all the Chad Gable poses. That's why he has Chad Gable's, like, that's why it's Chad Gable in a mask. Like, I don't get it. I don't get what you're asking me. You're asking me if I'm stupid? I'm kind of with that storyline. Not my cup of tea, but Chad Gable is amazing in the ring. Oh, he is. And he's doing an amazing job. Like, I really liked how they did the, how they do, like, El Grande Americano cutting a promo. And Chad Gable will be pretending he's speaking Spanish. And then the voiceover will be like, I just want to be the greatest luchador in all the world. Everyone has tried to keep me down, but I'm the greatest. That kind of thing. I like that. That's silly. It reminds me of Funaki from back in the day. Yeah, I like that kind of storyline. It's very similar to back in the day after Kurt Angle lost the hair versus hair match with Edge and had his head shaved. And they had, like, Kurt come out with a wrestling helmet on and a wig underneath. And everyone, like, the storyline was, no, my hair just grew back insanely fast. There's nothing, I don't have a bald head. What are you talking about? And then, obviously, the eventual payoff was they pull the wrestling thing and the wig off Kurt's head, and he's actually completely bald and has continued to shave his head since then, so he looks, you know, super duper bald. Like, you know, I love that kind of storyline. It's dumb. It's dumb. Wrestling is best when it's being stupid. What's on at the cinema? It's the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So they're bringing it back to the cinema on the 25th of April until the 28th. I want to go see it in the cinema, much like I did 20 years ago, as a mere sprite of like 16 years old. Hello, Alex. How you doing? How many eggs we got? Not enough. Oh, probably. Chad Gable versus Eddie Guerrero would be baller. There is Thunderbolts in May, and it actually looks all right. I remember when I watched the first trailer and I was like, this looks fine. This looks like it'll be on par with Black Widow. So it'll be like a 6 out of 10. Like, it's a bit better than fine, but it's also, like, I could never watch it again and I'd be fine. But now it's like, oh, this has the potential to be like a 7.5 or an 8, maybe. Hello, Axolotl. How you doing? Don't bark at me, Tauros. You small compared to the water breed. Yeah, Pokemon Go gave me a chonky water breed, apparently. Fantastic Four does look amazing. That's got potential to be a fucking 9 or 10. Gable versus Benoit would be fucking beautiful. Oh, yeah, Benoit was like second only to Kurt Angle. Actually, no, third only to Kurt Angle and then Bret Hart. I can't believe we never got Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart. Or even Kurt Angle versus Owen Hart. Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Born Again, Season 2, The Punisher Special, and Beyond the Spider-Verse are legit the only Marvel projects I have faith in. Need to see more of Brand New Day. I mean, I will say, Doomsday and Secret War is about to be so garbage. Why? Because, why? I mean, if you go in with that attitude, like, maybe you're pleasantly surprised, but, like, I always find, like, you are quite negative when, like, you've just listed Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Born Again, Season 2, Punisher Special, Beyond the Spider-Verse. Like, that's 5 Marvel projects that you've listed that you have faith in. And you still manage to say it in a negative way. Because you've listed it as they're the only projects I have faith in. And it's like, that's still 5 more projects than some franchises are offering in the foreseeable future. So, like, why not be a bit more, like, optimistic? You've got 5 things you're looking forward to. Do you know how many things the Oddworld fandom have to look forward to? We don't even know if there's going to be another game. Benoit versus Dragunov would slap. Like, I do kind of, like, I've got no horse in the race, but, like, I do kind of hate how negative any talk around Marvel have got now. Like, oh, yeah, Marvel did some shit projects. Like, yeah, but, like, some of the projects that you guys love, I think were shit. Like, I didn't enjoy Hawkeye. It was tedious to have to keep watching it every week, but I was like, maybe it gets good. But then people talk to me about it, and they're like, oh, my God, the relationship, like, the bond between Hawkeye and Kate Bishop was so good and so pure, and like it was, and I was like, I didn't give a fuck. It was like, it was only good. The only good part for me was when Elena turned up, and even then it was like, yep, any scene that doesn't have Elena in is kind of boring. So like, just give it a chance, you know. The RDJ Doom casting sucks. Why is it? They have a bad track record after Endgame. There's no Doom setup, and with Deadpool 3 being so garbage, I don't have faith they can do the X-Men properly. How do you know there's no Doom setup? Have you seen the movies that lead up to that movie? Have you seen the projects that come out to set up Doom? Like maybe Fantastic Four First Steps, which will probably be the movie that sets up Doctor Doom. Night 2 Mania has the better matches from an in-ring perspective. Oh, mate, Logan Paul and AJ Styles are going to steal the show as much as it hurts. As a huge CM Punk fan, I couldn't ask for a better main event. I'd have rather Heyman just turned on Punk and just sided with Roman again. I don't like the idea of Heyman being with Seth, personally, but Doomsday is coming out next year, and the Fantastic Four director said there's no Doom. Do you know what happens? Do you know what happens when people are setting up a story that they like to keep under wraps? They lie. Do you know how many professional wrestlers have said, appearing in the Royal Rumble, I'm under contract to this company. I'm never coming back to that company. And then they return at the Royal Rumble. Like, bro, people lie. And also remember, I didn't say Doctor Doom would be in Fantastic Four First Steps. So the director saying, yeah, Doctor Doom's not in Fantastic Four First Steps, is in keeping with what I said, because you can set up, you can lay the groundwork for Doctor Doom arriving in First Steps without him appearing. Where else would he be? He's a Fantastic Four character. But he's also a Marvel character. And in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, First Steps could show something that happens that we're not quite sure why it's happened. But then later, the other projects reveal, oh my God, that was Doom. We just didn't realize at the time. You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's like you don't want to be told a story. It's like you want to be given the points of the story before it's happened. Like, let them cook. Trust the process. Not everything has to be Thanos smirking at the end of Avengers 1, you know? Kingpin is generally a Spider-Man bad guy, but tends to be more Daredevil now. Yeah. I love Marvel, and being an adult is knowing not everything's going to be 5 stars. Yeah. Io Bianca and Rhea opens the show. Perfect choice. It's going to be so good. Kind of weird how both Rumble winners are on the same night. I don't mind that, though. I just feel bad for CM Punk because he wanted a WrestleMania main event and he got a Night 1 main event, which is not the main event. You could tell me until you blew it. It's like Punk's old argument of like, oh, you were one of the main events, you know? You were one of the 3 main events. Well, no, I didn't close the show, so I'm not the main event. And it's like, yeah, he closed the show last night. But he's not the main event of WrestleMania because WrestleMania hasn't finished. Considering the recent track record, I've no reason to trust them. Then stop watching. If you don't trust them and you think that you're going to waste your time watching their stuff, then don't watch them. Skip Doomsday. Why pay the money if you think you're going to dislike it? Because if you pay the money to watch Doomsday and then don't like it, even though you're expecting not to like it, then you've just told them, oh yeah, I'll watch anything anyway. So there'll be no change. Shut your mouths and enjoy the ride The Rock is taking you on. Or which one Ghost Rider in the MCU at this point? He's running around with his head on fire. Ryan's right. Marvel misleading and lying is pretty normal at this point. Yeah, exactly. Because why would you want them to spoil their own movies? Because the thing is, Marvel fans can't be pleased anyway. He is in the MCU, he's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, but we're talking about, like, good MCU, not, like, that fucking shit series that, you know, just did nothing for anyone. To the point where they were like, just throw any reference in because no one's watching. Plus, multiverse, we could get a better Ghost Rider. It's awesome though, in my opinion. There you go. Most people disagree with that. Like, you know? It might be that Doomsday surprises you. It might be that all of us that are looking forward to Doomsday get severely disappointed, and you come out of it with an ear-to-ear grin going, this is the greatest thing they've ever made. I can't believe they succeeded, you know? Give shit a shot. Like, it is what it is. I know you're like, but Victor Von Doom is not Tony Stark. And it's like, yeah? Who says that this Tony Stark variant that they've said he's going to be isn't a Tony Stark variant that was raised by different parents and has the name Victor Von Doom? How do we know? As I said in Discord, the MCU is loosely based on the comics. Zemo is a Cap villain, was in Civil War. Yes, Doom is an FF4 villain, Fantastic Four villain, but he's also an Avengers villain. Yeah. Yeah. Metagirls vs Fatal Influence vs Jade Rocks. Yay. Hell yeah. Mirror's no face the RDG casting because I feel like they give him an Iron Man-like personality. You feel like that, but this is the thing. I have a shiny Clodsire, but I also have a shiny Rayquaza. Like, I like to hunt my own shinies, so I don't tend to trade for them. Look at that fucking ass. Goddamn dummy thick Tauros. Let's go. Like, the problem is, bro, man, we haven't seen the movie. We haven't even seen clips of the movie. Like, you're saying, I feel like they'll just give him an Iron Man-like personality. But here's the thing. What if they don't? What if the Robert Downey Jr. casting, he shows us that he can be more than just Iron Man. He can be evil, fucking horrible Doctor Doom. And then we also get that moment of Peter Parker seeing Doctor Doom unmasked and seeing the face of what he believes is Tony Stark, who wouldn't remember him anyway, because no one in the universe can remember who Peter Parker is, and being like, Mr. Stark? And he's like, who the fuck is Stark? I am Victor Von Doom, you fucking loser. Yeah, there's always a chance of what if they don't reason. I'm just saying it isn't likely. Based on what, though? You're only basing it on Robert Downey Jr. played Tony Stark. But he's now not playing Tony Stark from Earth 616. He's playing Tony Stark variant. Their recent track record. Their recent track record of what? They had Chris Evans. Right, the only thing I can think of that links to this, right? Their recent track record of having one actor play multiple characters is they had Captain America, Chris Evans, play... They had Captain America, Chris Evans, play Johnny Storm again, and they didn't give him a Steve Rogers personality. He had Johnny Storm's personality. And that's the only example of something that is similar to what you're saying about Robert Downey Jr. playing Stark. Or you could argue as well, they gave Jonathan Majors, the Kang actor, another variant of Kang, who was Victor Timely, and he didn't have the personality of Kang. He had the personality of Victor Timely. So, as Marvel goes in giving an actor playing two different Marvel characters the exact same personality as one of those characters, they've done it twice, and they haven't done that. Like, they've done the two actors, the one actor playing two characters twice, and given them both sets of both characters different personalities to each other. So their track record actually is getting that shit right. Technically. Yeah, it's almost like Robert Downey Jr. as an actor. He played Dr. Dolittle. He played Sherlock, and both of those characters are different. I guess I have to see. Also, Victor Timely is a separate Kang variant from other comics, and Human Torch's character already appeared, so I don't feel that's fair. I feel it's fair. He's a separate Kang variant from the comics. He's still a variant of Kang, and Kang was already in the Loki season as He Who Remains. So we've literally had Jonathan Majors, the arsehole, play He Who Remains Kang and Victor Timely Kang. and the Ant-Man Quantumania Kang. Like, he's technically played like 3 versions of Kang at this point, and they've all been different. Because, like, the Kang in Quantumania was a lot more sadistic compared to He Who Remains, who was more just nihilistic, apathetic, and kind of, like, jovial. Then you had Victor Timely, who was a pussy. The biggest snub from Mania this year? I'm going to say Jimmy Uso. Because he was just a side plot in a story and didn't even get to have a match. And all the variants of Kang, yeah. The cast Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool is Hannibal and Blade. Actors Act blew my mind. Loved Chris Backer's Human Torch. It was so good. Flame on! As long as they can get Doctor Doom's personality and hatred of Reed right and make Reed the most important character to Doom's story, I may not mind it. Well, then, I feel like they're going to do their best to, do the Fantastic Four justice. Because you've got to remember, right? What's one thing going into this Fantastic Four movie that the other movies haven't had to this point? The immense pressure of a movie franchise based on a comic that has a history of failure. So they have the first 2 Fantastic Four movies that were fun, but didn't really end up going anywhere. And then they had Fan Four Stick, which nearly killed any hope of us ever getting a Fantastic Four movie again. So now they've got there's that stigma of, I really hope they don't fuck up Fantastic Four. Like, the fact that most of us that are excited for Fantastic Four First Steps are constantly saying, I'm so surprised they've got me excited for Fantastic Four again. Because when they announced they were doing one, everyone was like, oh yeah, because that went so well the first 2 times. Like, so they've got such a pressure to do well with this movie that I think they're not going to fuck it up. I've stopped watching the trailers for F4. I don't need to be more hyped. Damn. I think not having every title of Mania this year is a crime. It's not Night of Champions, but the biggest, what the fuck, show of the year, not having the women's mid-card titles. Why is it still blurry? Like, the women's mid-card titles absolutely should have been on the show. Like, there's no reason not to have those, but to have the boring fucking feud of the War Raiders versus the Please Booers New Day was a bit lame. Like, you could have put Lyra Valkyria versus literally anyone in that slot and it'd have been better. I hope it's the Fantastic Four movie the story is written well, not amazing but great, not a dumpster fire either, just something serviceable and well receivable. And from the looks of it, they're really going all out for it. Worry about how they treat the X-Men, considering how bad Deadpool and Wolverine were and how they completely step on Deadpool 2's grave. Wait, what? Did we watch the same Deadpool and Wolverine? Huh? What? Bro, man, what? Did we watch the same movie? Deadpool and Wolverine was fucking fire. I'll Die on the Hill, Deadpool and Wolverine is the worst MCU movie? Well, now I just can't take you seriously, bro. Like, I appreciate you and I respect you, but also, what? The worst? In a world that gave us Thor 2? Bruh. Fucking hell, Gizmo. I like how the moves have been since they scaled back on just dumping as much content. Yeah, you know what I mean? I love Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, again, if you don't like it, but the worst is a strong statement. Like, the smell of hyperbole is fresh in my nose hair. Bruh. That's crazy. Like, I still need to watch the Marvels, and I think I'm one of the few people that will probably, like, really enjoy the Marvels, but also, even I know that it's not going to be better than Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine's up there with Ragnarok, man. That's crazy. Surprised they haven't shown Galactus' face in the trailers. It is Marvel after all. I like the way we've seen his little booties and his shadow. Iron Man 3, Ant-Man 2. Oh god, yeah. Good lord. I also don't like Ragnarok. Oh, you hate fun. What? Is it because they're not gritty enough? Are they not, like, sad enough? It's the best opening sequence in MCU movie since Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Valid. I've enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine way too much. Wait, way too much? Does that mean you've masturbated while watching it? So, is that too rude? No, in fact, it's not rude enough. What did you knock over, Ruby? Oh, that was the volume button you're fiddling with there, Liam. Because it's in the same place. Something sounded like it fell over, but it didn't. Or just Ruby's head. No, Liam, because how they treat the characters. What did they do? Why did they mistreat the characters? Hulk was Hulk. Thor was Thor. Valkyrie was Valkyrie. What am I missing? Hela was fucking horrible, like a nasty bitch like she's meant to be. Loki was Loki. You're going to rant, it won't. I might explain in the Discord. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's just crazy. You're like the only person I've spoken to. Like, I've literally not spoken to any other person who's been like, God, I fucking hated Deadpool and Wolverine. It's just, that's why I'm so shocked. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like, please present an essay to the class. I'm just more like, it's not even like 1% of the people I've spoken to. It's like 1% of the people I've spoken to about it. One person, and that one person is you. That's wild. But then again, you're more of a comic reader than me, so maybe I'm just enjoying the characters under the idea of like, Loki's redemption was really bad considering it has no setup. He gets electrocuted and then it's like, your savior is here. That's in keeping with Loki's personality. Loki's personality is that he's arrogant. And that, yes, he's trying to help the good guys because Hela literally wanted him fucking dead. And that's why he's siding with the good guys. Because, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And he says your savior is here because he's a glory hound. Did you miss the start of the movie where he posed as Odin because he wanted to rule Asgard and knew he couldn't rule as Loki? So portrayed himself as his dad? Like, he literally wants to rule. In Avengers 1, the character of Loki wanted to subjugate humanity. There's a whole scene about making them kneel. He wants to rule. He wants to... What? But he's not redeemed in that scene. It's more just Hela's killing everyone. And fucking Surtur's gonna destroy Asgard. So Loki turning up is like, you know what? These guys are bad, but like, I know Loki, like we know Loki's an arsehole, but at the same time, anything's better than what's happening right now. I think you're thinking too deeply into it. Yeah, exactly. He's only redeemed when he sacrifices himself in Infinity War. Not intentionally sacrifices, but yeah, he's doing what's in his own best interest at the time. Yeah. The Kingo in WWE is going to be amazing. Oh, him versus Gunther will be baller. I want Murder Clown or whatever he's called from AAA to turn up. I'm a comics fan, but I'm also well aware his adaptations being a thing. Yeah, because remember, it's not a retelling of the comics. It's an adaptation. Much in the same way that lots of people who watch adaptations of novels go, well, they didn't include this entire scene where all the children had an orgy. Remember that? Remember that from It? Yeah, remember that bit? I'm glad they didn't put that in the movies because it's an adaptation. There's some creative liberty there. Kingo versus Dragonov, yes, please. Oh yeah, literally, they didn't have an orgy in the original It movie, but they all went into a room that the girl was in one by one to effectively lose their virginity one by one in the original Stephen King novel of It. It's, yeah, he was on all the drugs, we think. We hope. Yeah. But yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe have a rewatch? Like, Ragnarok could have had more Planet Hulk, but I have Planet Hulk comic and animated film for that. Yeah, I don't care for 100% actually. I want the personalities to be mostly accurate to the storyline. There's adapting to be adapted well. Something, for example, Ragnarok doesn't do with Planet Hulk. I mean, I guess they couldn't adapt Planet Hulk very well without doing an entire Planet Hulk movie. So I kind of like, for brevity's sake, that they did the whole Ragnarok thing, and they were like, oh, we can also kind of more or less reference Planet Hulk here without having to directly do a Planet Hulk movie. Because if you want every storyline, like some storylines in the comics are just going to be, this section of this movie is a wink and a nod to this that happened to pop the comic fanboys so they can go, oh shit, that's like Planet Hulk. But it doesn't have to be because imagine how long Ragnarok would be if they did a whole arc that pays a complete, accurate service to Planet Hulk. They're going to be there for multiple movies. Then don't bother adding Planet Hulk elements. You essentially butchered the storyline, essentially ruined any chance for World War Hulk adaptation. Who's to say they can't do it in the future? Maybe not in this generation's MCU, but they're about to fucking reset the MCU. So what's to say they can't then in the new chronology do it? I think you're thinking too black and white about things. Like they had What's-His-Face as one of the statues, you know? They're about to reset the MCU. Yeah, doubt. I mean, are we not about to get Doomsday? And is Doomsday not going to basically lead to Battleworld, which is then going to lead to a brand new universe being created, probably by Wanda, as a reset? Which is how we'll be able to get things like new actors that are younger playing the Avengers and stuff, you know? At most, we'll get the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in the Sacred Timeline. They're literally adapting Secret Wars. Yeah, where the timeline was reset, right? I know how that feels. I got sick of working in a donut shop because I got so tired of the whole thing. Hey, very good. Oh, Tom, I missed you there, Tom. Sorry. Why is it hard work in an apple pie factory? Because the turnover rates are so high. Very good. Very good. Hello, Lass Harley Marie. How you doing? Sorry, I got so absorbed in running around and hatching Tauros. Good grief. Good queef. Didn't they confirm that Wanda died at the end of Doctor Strange 2? No. They think Wanda died at the end of Doctor Strange 2. But if you watch the end of Doctor Strange 2, there's a crazy mystical power that glows just as that fucking place is coming down. And a lot of people believe that's Wanda transferring herself to another universe. I believe the storyline Ragnarok was adapted too early and there was so much potential with Asgard, introducing characters like Balder and Enchantress. But you also have to remember, right? Beta Ray Bill was one of the statue heads. That was it. Thank you. And that wasn't like, oh, we're going to get whole movies dedicated to Beta Ray Bill. It was just like, hey, we know comic book fans are smart, so we'll give them a wink and a nod to Beta Ray Bill. They'll love that. She said she isn't in the films, but it could be an Andrew Garfield situation. Yeah, it could just be a I'm under NDA. I can't say I'm in the movies because it ruins the plot. Honestly, if you want to know what the next movies are about, just watch every Tom Holland interview that happens, because that kid cannot keep a secret. Arian Cross said in an interview at the Hall of Fame that AJ Styles was the GOAT. Where does Styles rank in your list? Oh, he's definitely in the top 20. I'll agree with you there. For sure. Like, that's why I'm so excited for him versus Logan Paul tonight. Because Logan Paul's had incredible matches with some great wrestlers. But, like, if anyone's going to give Logan Paul the best match of his fucking career, it's going to be AJ Styles. I definitely think Tom Holland isn't in Doomsday, though, considering his schedule. Maybe. But who's to say he's not in Secret Wars? You know, Ant-Man and Hawkeye weren't in Infinity War, but they were in Endgame. Because remember, the next Tom Holland Spider-Man movie is scheduled to be between Doomsday and Secret Wars. So that's probably going to be, like, it might well be that at the end of Doomsday, everything gets transformed into Battleworld, and the next Spider-Man movie takes place with him basically being transported to this Battleworld and kind of going, what the fuck is happening? I did not mention it earlier. I love the use of waffles. Waffles? Oh, the Raichu. Thank you. My dream Styles match is prime Shawn Michaels. Yes, please. Ragnarok also needs to happen when it does to get the Space Stone off Asgard. That's a valid point. Yeah, I'm quite excited for Thunderbolts. I wouldn't say really excited, but like the more I see trailers of it, the more I'm like, ooh, actually. Didn't say it's a negative. I'd actually prefer it if it isn't in Doomsday because it gives it more chance to be brand new DW Street level. Ah. Oh, okay. You got to remember, though, I appreciate now that you didn't mean I definitely think he's not in Doomsday, though, considering the schedule. Originally, I read it in a negative light because in the purposes of this conversation, you've been talking negatively about the MCU and what they're doing and things like that. You know what I mean? So, like, my instant thought was when I read that, like, oh, yeah, Broman's still annoyed about the MCU. So you can understand where that came from. Styles versus Angle in TNA was perfection. Angle versus Joe as well. Yeah, I know you get it, Broman. That's why as well, if ever... One thing, I will say this, and I'm gonna swell your head a bit, Broman, right? One reason I never mind really having these discussions with you is because I know that I can disagree with you if I disagree, and we can talk about it, and you're never one of those people that goes, do you know what? Fuck this. I'm not listening to this. I'm leaving. Like, which some people do. Some people go, I'm not going to sit here and be disagreed with. I know you're always going to go, you know what? Fair play, Liam. We don't agree. That's cool. And everybody in here respects that about you, bro, man, because it's like, yeah, we disagree, but then we carry on just liking the other stuff that we all mutually like. And that's cool. And that's a good thing. More people need to be like that. So many people get their fucking feelings hurt when someone goes, I think you're being really negative, my dude. I don't agree with you. Or I think you're being way too forgiving for this project or something. You need to be a bit more negative. Like, you know, some people get well mardy about it. And you're just like, no, I get it. Not everyone agrees with me, and that's okay. Love that. We stand that. Fuck this, I'm leaving. Cap. You're not allowed to leave. We've been through this. I will find you. Like, my personal opinion, I think Deadpool and Wolverine is carried by hype moments and humor. I really dislike the lack of Cable and how it ruins Raid's relationship with Vanessa. I will say, not having Cable in it is a bit sad, because, like, fucking Josh Brolin is great. Also, Josh Brolin is another example, thank you, of two characters that are played by the same actor but are not the same. Thanos and Cable both felt like different characters played by the same actor. Thank you. Angle versus Taker should have happened at WrestleMania 22 instead of at No Way Out. Then we wouldn't have got the awful casket match of Taker versus Henry. Oh, God, yeah. God, don't remind me of that. I'm already in enough pain from yesterday when they reminded us that it's been 12 years since CM Punk appeared at WrestleMania. And then my brain went, that was WrestleMania where he faced The Undertaker, right? Right after he'd lost to the title to The Rock. And then I looked back and I was like, yeah, that's how old you are, Liam. The concept of anchor beings is really bad. I do get confused by anchor beings because I'm still a bit confused by it. I will say the anchor beings thing is confusing because, like, if Logan is an anchor being, so in his universe, he has to be in that universe, otherwise his universe dies. But in another universe, Logan dies, so therefore isn't in that universe. So when he dies naturally, like he's supposed to in his timeline, his universe will just end because he's not there. But then I think I'm overthinking it because I think someone's an anchor being in their specific universe. So, like, Logan, who dies in Logan, isn't necessarily the anchor being of his universe. But the Logan from Deadpool and Wolverine needs to stay in his universe because he's an anchor being. My personal theory is he ascended to anchor being status because the timeline changes in Days of Future Past. Oh! Jason. What's happening? Queef. That's not what's happening. Queef. Say it again, go on. Queef. I burp. I burp. I fart. I burp. I burp. I fart. Oh, Gizmo, that's where we are in One Piece. Frankie has just done his I can propel myself through the air by inflating myself and farting thing. That's where we are now. And everybody has just regrouped, so we're ready for a big fight. Also, the actress does her best, but as a comic fan, they didn't really get Cassandra Nova right. Oh, yeah, like, to be fair, Cassandra Nova just reminded me of the Ancient One. Yeah, One Piece, ladies and gentlemen. I don't remember that at all. Good to know he uses it more in the future then. Literally, there's a scene where he's in chains with next to Robin, and his arse is inflating, and he's like, you guys, it's gonna blow. I'm set to detonate. It's gonna fucking blow. And everyone runs away from him. And then he basically farts and it just propels him and Robin out the window. Meant to be this hideous deformed hag. Oh. My mum, but she's dead. Dead. Why are Drifloon so aggressive? Bro, you're a balloon. Oh, I'm enjoying the live commentary of Bro Metapod's experience with Legends Arceus. This is good. He's not a good wrestler. Giant Gonzalez vs. Undertaker. Oh, God, yeah. Cena vs. Taker at Mania. Undertaker vs. King Kong Bundy. Bundy's nuts. I remember that One Piece scene, yeah, right? Still think it's absurd that other Wolverine's X-Men died to normal random humans. Did they? Oh, shit. Were they not killed by Sentinels? It's a balloon that steals children. It's not going to be Chill. Chill D's nuts. You need to do more finding the Tauroses. I started to miss you, so I thought I'd check in. Wait a minute. You were going to not turn up? That's so rude. But I love you. I love you. What the fuck? Oh, it's okay. I nudged the start key on my computer and I was like, why is a menu open? If there hasn't been a Legends ZA trailer on the 27th of Feb and March, will there be one on the 27th of this month? I don't work for Pokemon, so I don't honestly know. Yeah, everyone's regrouped with Luffy now. So, like, Luffy has just revealed second gear. So I've seen second gear, and that's where we are. Paris and Arceus were a nightmare. Yeah, Metapod's got that to look forward to. Also, Pokemon don't do patterns. This is true. He's right, you know. I still don't fully understand second gear. Like, I don't understand what he did that made him hot, but I guess it's going to be explained. I'm asking your opinion. Oh, my opinion is I don't mind. I just take the information as it comes, as long as no one spoils it, you know? So I'm happy for it to happen. I'm happy for it to not happen, you know? Also hate how quickly Sabretooth was killed off. I wanted to see more of him and Logan. I don't mind, but then I don't have any connection to the character. Because that's one thing that Marvel Comics has that's a problem, is because of the nature of it being a franchise that's been around for like 50 years, there are way too many characters. And to give every character that someone will be a fan of enough screen time is practically impossible. Especially with them reducing the number of projects they're doing because people are complaining about the quality. It's like they can't improve the quality of the movies and the projects that they're doing if they're also trying their best to include every character they possibly can whilst also giving them an incredible amount of screen time. Plus, again, this is a franchise that has multiverses, so for all we know, that Sabretooth isn't the only Sabretooth. So it could be that in a later movie, maybe even Doomsday or Secret Wars, we will see the return of Sabretooth. And the Juggernaut, bitch! We might even see the Juggernaut, bitch! And Ryan Reynolds' Juggernaut in the same movie. What's a better trilogy? AJ Styles vs. John Cena or Triple H vs. Undertaker? Oh, AJ Styles vs. Cena. I like Triple H, but I like Triple H in tag teams more than I like Triple H singles matches. Because Triple H has the thing that Randy Orton has that I never like, which is in longer matches, they're just dominated by the slow, methodical pace of Triple H. And I don't like when it's too slow. Like, even Angle and Benoit, who were just purely, like, mat technical wrestlers, could still keep the pace up with, like, catch-as-catch-can wrestling. Whereas Triple H is just, I'll take my time. I've got some cool big moves, but then I'll take my time. Might just be me, but the humor in Deadpool and Wolverine also wasn't as good as the first two films. The dog pull stuff was the only thing I call funny. Ironically, the dog pull stuff for me was the least funny. Like, I found it amusing, but at the same time, I was also like, is what it is. Like, take it or leave it. Like, oh, like, after the first, like, oh yeah, the dog's really gross, and they talk about her like she's a weird sexual thing, like, I get it. And it was funny the first time, but after a while, not as much. Yeah, like, I quite enjoyed the humor. But then again, you got to remember, I'm a very silly person. And, like, I guess because of a defense mechanism, because of, you know, the nature of, like, I'm so fucking depressed all the time, I love, like, really stupid things. So when humor is silly for the sake of being silly, I'm like, aha, good. The Proposal was literally a joke about past Ryan Reynolds movies, which we already saw that joke with Green Lantern. Didn't see it in the same way, though. So that's why it worked in the nature of the way they did it. Because it was a character that can break the fourth wall, talking to a character who breaks the fourth wall about breaking the fourth wall, and then breaks the fourth wall with just a generic, like, not even a movie reference, just a generic reference, like just saying the title of a movie that the actor's been in, which is different to the way they did it in Green Lantern. What I found funny about Dogpool is the way it's fighting over it, which fair play, like, that was part of the joke, you know? But the way the proposal line works so well is because, like, Nicepool is challenging Deadpool and basically saying, I'm going to, like, I know you can break the fourth wall, like you just did. I can do that too. And it's a subversion of expectations because you're expecting him to do something, like, really over the top that breaks the fourth wall. And instead, he just says a movie title. You know? And that's why it's like, oh, like, it's one of those sexiest writer I've ever seen. How you doing, Bada Scooter Man? How you doing? I find random and absurd humor funny, but I really don't like humor in my thriller, superhero, and action genres. I love it in superheroes because I think people forget that comic book superheroes were originally written for children. I'm someone who loves Batman Forever because it feels like it takes place in a comic book. And that's why I love it so much, because it's like, this is a children's thing. And it takes place, and it's silly, you know? So, like, oh, life's treating me awful. I'm fucking depressed, I'm poor, and I'm fucking riddled with ADHD. But, you know, we plod on. At least it's WrestleMania weekend. You know what I mean? We killed the dinosaurs. The Ice Age. Yeah, Kidpool was weird. I don't like kids, that's why. A Deadpool movie cannot work without humor. In general superhero films, it should always be a balance of humor and seriousness depending on the hero. Yeah. But, like, in thrillers, I don't mind the odd sarcastic joke, but it needs to fit with the characters of the humor, do you know? Like, the characters of the movie. So you can still have humor in a thriller, but at the same time, like, it needs to be more like someone makes a snide comment and someone makes a very funny, sarcastic comment back, where it's not supposed to be, this is comedic. It's supposed to be, oh, snap, that was a good comeback. That's when I don't mind humor in a thriller. But you know what I mean? Perhaps I just don't like it when kids randomly show up in superhero films to save the day. Thor 4. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't like kids in general, so, like, you know, valid. But I don't think that's... I think that's more you disliking the concept of a kid turning up to save the day at the last minute, rather than you disliking humor in movies. Favorite AJ Styles WrestleMania match? I liked... Did AJ Styles have a... Did he have a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania that I really liked? Yeah, versus Shane. Oh my god, I did like that match. Even though it was Shane. Batman Forever is one of my favorite movies. I don't care what people say. I fucking love it. And the fact that Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones are so... You're realizing your mistake now, aren't you, Liam? Oh my fucking god, what? Oh! It wasn't my fault, said Snitsky. Autosave is still on. That's why I keep resetting and hatching the same 6 eggs. Oh my god. Him versus Randy at Mania is good. Oh, absolutely. Riddler's the best part. Honestly, Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey hating each other backstage but having such good chemistry. Beautiful. Great actors. Oh, okay. I got to release these fucking idiots. And then turn off autosave. Him versus Randy at Mania 35 was also good. Randy! My friends with 2 babies. I'm overstimulated. Like actual babies. What are we hatching for? We're playing Tauros Roulette. So we are hatching for a shiny Tauros. Which one? You know, I don't think Two-Face fits the comedic tone, though. I've always viewed him as someone who should be portrayed as a tragic figure. I think he fits the comedic tone because he's someone whose fucking face has been ruined on one half, and the trauma of it has sent him comedically insane. Which to me makes him more like Two-Face from the animated series, where, like, you know, he is what he is. Like, I like the way they did him in The Dark Knight, but, like, he still went, half my face is burned, now I'm an angry, insane man. When before he got his face burned, he wasn't an angry, insane man. So it's still a little bit comedic, but it's just they tried to ground it more in The Dark Knight than they did in Batman Forever, which was meant to be over the top. Two-Face animated series was not one bit comedic, much more tragic. I just remember him being blue on one side. Which is hard to take someone seriously when they've got a fucking blue off to their face, you know? But I have not watched this since I was a child, so when I was a child, I was probably like, haha, funny blue man blue. Bet he's feeling blue. LOL, LOL. Tommy Lee Jones fucking slaps as Two-Face, for sure. Especially in the opening scene when they're just talking about how, like, they're using the same oil that made them the men they are today. I'm like, that's baller. That's a hell of a line. And then it also includes the best acting in all of cinema. Not my glasses! Wait! That's my hearing aid! It's boiling acid! Honestly, give that man an Oscar. Face scar isn't what caused the second personality to take over Harvey. The Two-Face personality is a product of the abuse his father put him through. Yeah, but I like my characters to be silly without being abusive, you know? You know what I mean? Like, you can have a silly, crazy character without him having to be like, oh yeah, his dad, like, did horrible things to him. Excited for 2 new Avengers films coming out? I am. For sure, foreskin. Logan Paul's criminally underrated in the ring. No, he's not! No, he's not! Listen, Levi. Look, listen. I don't like Logan Paul as a person. But you are lying if you say he's unrelated. Because every conversation about Logan Paul goes the exact same way. Which is, someone says, I hate Logan Paul as a person. He's a shithead. He's a piece of shit. And just like, yes, he's a decent businessman. But I wish I wouldn't see his face fucking everywhere I go. And then they automatically go, however, he is annoyingly good at professional wrestling. Like, he is stupidly good at professional wrestling to the point where every wrestling fan worth their salt feels bad about their opinion because they're like, I really want to hate this guy because I hate the person, but I have to respect how good of a wrestler he is with such a small amount of experience from the get-go. What I mean is he shouldn't be this good this quickly. It's amazing how fast he learned. Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I agree with that. I do need to turn off autosave. You're right. Thank you, Yuki. At least you're paying attention. But yeah, that doesn't mean he's underrated. He's absolutely rated the way he should be. Everyone agrees Logan Paul hasn't had a bad match in his career so far. And we all begrudgingly have to go, yeah, I suppose he is really good, isn't he? Like I said this week, like I've said multiple times this weekend, the match I am most excited for on night 2 is AJ Styles versus Logan Paul because it has potential to steal the show. You know what I mean? Like, AJ Styles, one of the 20 greatest wrestlers in the history of wrestling, putting on a match with Logan Paul, who's just taken to wrestling like a duck to water. There are people in WWE who have been on the roster for years and have been training on the indies for years and aren't on the level of match quality that Logan Paul is. Like, he's so fucking good. I just hate that he is who he is. Oh, it makes me furious. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He shouldn't be this good this quickly. After all my opinions, I'm about to drop the craziest one. Uh-oh. Most people have seen Endgame. It is about 20 years old. Yeah, Paul versus Dragunov. I want Paul versus Gunther. What's your opinion on the 2 new Avengers films? Spider-Man 2012 is my favorite Marvel movie. That's fair play. Oh, Amazing Spider-Man 2012.
In here, granted, it does smell.
On Patreon. Thank you for the follow. The subscribe. How you doing? What was I going to say? Yeah, you're saying that The Amazing Spider-Man 2012 is your favorite Marvel movie? Amazing Spider-Man 2 is one of my favorite Marvel movies. Like, I genuinely enjoy it, even just from the fucking sound design. Like, I love anything where they match the action up to the fucking music, like Edgar Wright does in, like, Baby Driver and stuff. Yeah, I know you don't like that, bro, man, but that's fair play. I've got to the point where I kind of realize, if I like a Marvel movie, you're probably not gonna. Thanos died in Endgame, and he was a great villain. Like, he was a really good villain. I don't know who they're going to use for the new ones, so I'm so nervous. You don't know who they're going to use as the villain in the new movies called Avengers Doomsday? Hello? Orion, is this your first day on the internet? What do you mean you don't know who they're going to use for the villain? I'm not a big Marvel guy. Doomsday. 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 I just wish they did not need to put Goblin in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, I thought it was fine. I like the actor who plays him. He's really good in that other movie that I can't remember what it's called, where he goes to this place and all these people are brainwashed. It's called, like, Contagion or something. Not Contagion. Oh, what's it called? Don't remember. We like Endgame, but Infinity War Thanos was much better than Endgame Thanos. Yeah, valid. I don't like how small Carol's role is. Professor Hulk being off-screen. Oh, yeah, like, Hulk. Like, the Hulk. Doomsday's a DC villain. Very good. I don't like that they made Thor's depression into comedy. Like, the whole Thor joke in Endgame is, haha, Thor is fat now. Fat is funny. And you're there like, this is like 20-something, dude. No. Oh, it wasn't 2020. It was like 20... Oh, God, it was like 2019, maybe? I don't fucking remember. It was too late in humanity for fat jokes to be a thing, you know what I mean? Look at him. He's sad, so now he's fat. He's playing Fortnite. Like, you know what I mean? Top 3 men's NXT match of all time. Femi versus Briggs, Dijak. Volta versus Ilya at TakeOver 36. Femi versus Javon versus Trick. Oh, nice. My team was Captain Marvel, Endgame, and Far From Home. Oh, yeah. I'm glad they didn't just magically make him lose the weight, though. Yeah, I like that. They made him actually work it off. Liam's the new Avengers villain. Doomsday. AJ vs. Shane WrestleMania was a standard match. Shane's Hell in a Cell match was with Undertaker. Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. For the love of mankind. Yeah, 2018 annoyed me because Black Panther came out at the start of the year and it didn't come out on home video or streaming before Infinity War came out. So you just had to know. Like, obviously Black Panther was introduced in Civil War, but like a bunch of stuff was explained in Black Panther that you just had to know. Like in Infinity War, you just had to kind of accept it. Like Black Panther's fucking suit explanation of how it absorbs energy and then fires it back more powerfully. If you know that, you then know how hard Thanos hits Black Panther in Infinity War. Because you see Thanos hit Black Panther so hard, his suit can't absorb all the energy and it just gets dispersed into the ground in that big purple flash. Which you wouldn't get if you hadn't watched Black Panther. And some people didn't get a chance to watch Black Panther at the movies before Infinity War. Because, you know, not everyone has the fucking budget. Black Panther's such a great movie. It actually made me care about Killmonger and like the comics. I found it quite boring. Killmonger's a rare case, the MCU villain being better than the comics. Did he get run over by a CGI train, if I remember rightly? I've only watched it once. As a bigger dude, I feel that one hard. I will say him still being worthy of Mjolnir did give me the feels, though. Yeah. He got stabbed by T'Challa. Oh! And then hit by the CGI train? No, Liam, he wasn't hit by the CGI train. We've been through this. Oh, there's the other one. No, Marvel need to be careful about how much content you need to watch for their new films. Like, you need to watch 300 Disney series in every film beforehand. I mean, at this point, you kind of don't. It depends which characters are in the movie. Plus, like, if you think about it, if you watch Avengers 1 without having watched Iron Man, without having watched Captain America, without having watched Thor, and without having watched, like, Incredible Hulk, you just get the gist of the characters as you go through. You don't, like, it's more rewarding if you know all of their backstories. But if you don't, and you just go into it blind, I think you can still enjoy them. I'll probably just get a screen rant summary. Oh, fair play. Do
Hey,
what you
what
want to
you
do.
like is your business.
I like to watch a movie before reading about
Alex
it.
30 months.
Alex the 18!
30 months, that almost a year. Also, my brother moves back in from dorms today. Sarcastic, yay.
Thank you for 30 months. That's almost a year. Ace Trader Ultra, big salutes in chat for the Ace Trader Ultra, please. It is almost a year. Your brother moves back from dorms today. Rip. That being said, after all the MCU villain trash talk, I'll defend MCU Ultron with my life. Oh, I love MCU Ultron. MCU Ultron was the first MCU villain that felt to me like the kind of villain I want in my movie about silly comic book people who fire things out of their hands and have super strength and shit and aren't realistic. I want a comic book Saturday morning fucking cartoon villain, and that is what Ultron was. He was the right amount of sadistic and sarcastic. Moving back means I no longer get my room to myself. Oh, bruv, that is tragic. Well, he's going to have to listen to these streams and Sophie's, that's for sure. Looked at the internet for a few seconds and thought humanity needed to go. I mean, he's not wrong, you know? The biggest problem facing humanity is humanity. Oh, yeah. Like, going through the depression and the likes and still getting that confirmation that you're still worthy despite generally moving to it. That's so cute. That's adorable. Random, is there a reason you're just a Raichu? Yes. I found out at my contact lens appointment on Wednesday that I have an abrasion on my right eye, which is my good eye. That's the eye we have to protect. And therefore, I can't put contact lenses in until after it's been reassessed on Tuesday to see if the abrasion has healed. Luckily, the eye is the fastest healing organ in the entire body. Therefore, hopefully, it will be healed by then. If not, I might have to not wear my contacts for a bit longer. So you'll have to do without my face for a little bit longer. And yeah, so that's why I'm a Raichu at the moment. Because I'm actually being really good and not putting my contacts in. To the point that because I'm so dedicated to the gym these days, that I've been going to the gym, like I've been driving wearing my glasses, but then at the gym, I'm only wearing my left lens, which only sees 648, which just to quickly explain to people, that means that anything that you can normally see from a distance of 48 feet away, my left eye only begins to see that clearly when I'm 6 feet away, which is very fucking bad. I'm wearing just that one lens while I do my gym work because I'm that fucking dedicated to staying in the gym. I'm like, I'll go in there basically blind. I'm just not doing squats at the moment. I'm doing Bulgarian split squats because that's a bit safer than having the squat bar on my back and trying to re-rack it with no vision. That's kind of, you know, terrifying. And I was saying to Sophie earlier, it's so fucking weird that in the space of 1 year, I've gone from, I want to quit the gym, to, I want to hit the gym every fucking day. I fell asleep. Big fan of Bulgarian split squats. What, watching me do them? Oh, you'd love it, honestly. Especially with what I wear to the gym. It's all cock on display. And my excuse, if anyone ever says anything to me about it, I'm like, hey, if girls can wear skin-tight stuff around their ass, I can wear I can't even say it. Skin-tight stuff around my willy. Nothing wrong with being a Raichu, especially when you're trying to get better. Exactly. Good boy, Liam, exactly. Not to mention, Tony made Ultron in the next Avengers animated film and helped Hank make Ultron in so there's history of him making Ultron. Yeah. I'm not going to 11. I'm going for the next 14 minutes. You can wear it when you can't say it without stuttering. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Skin tight. Your dad. Let's just hatch these ones. Let's hatch these bad boys. And then in the hour before I fucking stop for WrestleMania, I have to hatch all of the other eggs that I accidentally hatched, which I now know wasn't Liam just being a big dumb. It was actually autosave fucking me over. So I feel less stupid. But you look incredibly stupid. Wow. Talking to gym back there tomorrow. Hell yeah, lad. I like Bulgarian split squats for myself. I mean, hey, we've seen the work it's been doing for you, Hammer, and I'm all on board. Like, you keep doing them, love. You keep doing them. Because goddamn. With friends like these, who needs dirty magazines? You think Obafemi is ready for the main roster? Yes, I actually thought he was going to lose the title this weekend because I was like, he's ready. I'm hoping that LA Knight losing the title is partly because obviously they want to push Jacob Fatu, but also partly because they want to put LA Knight in the main event scene for a bit. Close to a month, but it feels like a year. Oh, God, I know. Not being able to go to the gym is the worst thing. Like, when I go to, like, conventions and stuff now, I'm like, can I find time for the gym, though? I'm desperate. Which is so weird. I need to go gym tomorrow, but I've got to wait. Oh, I'm going to have to walk to the gym tomorrow because my car's in for a service. They are going to pick it up from my house, but it means that I can't go to the gym first thing because I've got to wait for them to come and pick up the car. And it's like, oh, yeah, we're collecting it at 9:30 a.m., but it could be any time within 2 hours of that. So I've got to sit and fucking wait. Then I've got to walk to the gym, which means I'm doing more cardio than I normally would. And then I've got to walk back. Trying to find a second Cranidos, not going well. Rip. Want to check because schedule said 7 to 11. Yeah, remember schedule also says subject to change though. Appreciate you though. Obafemi versus Gunther. Yes, please. Obafemi's a beast. Love it. Hell yeah. Guardians Trilogy is all 10 out of 10. Change my mind. I think the second one's a bit weaker than the other two. Like, whenever I'm thinking of watching a Guardians movie, can Sophie not give them the keys if you just walk there? Yeah, but the problem is, right? What if they ask her a question? What if they ask her a question, Gizmo? She'll panic. You know she will. Second is my favorite. Oh my God. I just need to learn that any opinion I have about Marvel, Bromance is going to be the complete opposite. I think the second is the funniest MCU movie. Man, it really does take all sorts to make a world. Therapist scheduled for Tuesday, and that's throwing me right off. Oh, damn. My cousin has become proper exercise girly the past couple of years. She's been losing weight and doing loads of stuff, and she's just had surgery now and can't do it for now. Oh, God. That sounds like pain. Pain and panic. Reporting for duty. Like what? I don't know. Fucking sort it. Oh, I'll just wait, you know. It's fine. Moon Knight's my favorite MCU project. I mean, I liked Moon Knight. I liked Oscar Isaacs. Yeah, I think he did the role very well. I just thought it went a bit batshit towards the end. And I'm sure it's probably meant to, but I was just like, this is just weird now. Like, before it was like, ooh, twisty, twisty, and ooh, twisty, twisty. And then it was like, the fuck is happening? Oh, No Way Home's fucking great. I love No Way Home. We can agree on that. Plus, I'm probably going to want to sleep in a bit anyway because WrestleMania will be on till 4 in the morning. Or 5. Ended up talking to someone because of how bad I was this morning. Wait, ended up talking to someone because of how bad I was this morning. I love the current state of the world. Wait, what? What? What's going on? Huh? I don't know what that means. Speaking of her, I got taken to Birmingham yesterday because by my dad because I was going to see my grandparents for Easter. But when I got there, it's actually a surprise 21st birthday party for me. Oh my God. How was that, Amma? Did you like having the surprise, or were you more like, oh, I could have just spent the night at home? Means I'm still a mental wreck. You and me both. Crazy how Oba has only lost 3 matches in NXT. It's so good, though. He's so good. Bestie's sweetheart. Got a little package in the mail, a book, a sugar-free snack, low-fat crisps, a few other things to keep the mind busy while I've been going spare at home. She's a good egg. Never let that girl down. You know, until you both, like, find partners and naturally see less of each other just because, like, that's the nature of when you get in a relationship. Thoughts on Iron Man 2, because I despise it. I wouldn't choose to watch Iron Man 2 very often. However, I do laugh all the time at I want my board, because it just makes me laugh. I like the effects that they do for Whiplash's whips when he cuts through the car and stuff. And I really like Sam Rockwell as an actor. So I thought his portrayal was great. But it's not a movie I would choose to watch. And I couldn't actually tell you, other than the fight between Iron Man and War Machine, I can't really remember much of it. Yeah, Justin Hammer and Rhodey carried. Like Sam Rockwell, in my opinion, can do no fucking wrong in the roles he's in. I've never watched a movie with Sam Rockwell in and gone, God, he was shit in that. Underrated actor, in my opinion. Gunther has been champion 82% of his entire WWE career. I know, right? Unheard of. No surprise, I've just been agonizing all day about revision and being all alone. Oh, but I was looking forward to going to Birmingham for a free dinner from my grandparents. Instead, I got cake presents. We did karaoke. Obviously, loads of food. It's great fun. Oh, well, I'm glad you had a good time, though. That's baller. I feel like how Whiplash and Crimson Dynamo were merged into one character and they butchered the demon in a bottle storyline. Too much Avengers setup, too. But sadly, that's the nature of it, is they're going to want to set up the big budget, what's the word, like, team-up movies. And that means they're going to have to water down some storylines. And I know your answer will be, well, don't do them storylines at all then. But then you know full well that if they did a completely new storyline that had no relation to the comics, you'd be going, why didn't they do this storyline? They have so many storylines they could do and they chose to make a new one. That's fucking stupid. Watched Iron Man 2 in so long. The only good thing in Iron Man 3 is Gwyneth Paltrow showing some fucking baller abs. And I'm not normally a Gwyneth Paltrow fan, personally. And also him calling that kid a pussy for whinging about his dead dad. Yeah. Honestly, Sonny, I was asking this question yesterday. How do we take Gunther seriously after he lost by submission to Jey Uso? Someone who doesn't normally use a sleeper hold anyway. And that quickly. He tapped in seconds and it was like, what? What are you doing? Like, the first thing I said to my mates was like, did they just bury Gunther? Who did he piss off? I like original storylines. The MCU Guardians are the furthest thing away from the comic accurate. Oh, well, fair play. You know what? Fair play. But there's a precedent of comic book fans liking references. So they have to pepper everything with references these days to keep the attention span of the Zoomers. Normally the Zoomers who haven't even read the comics but call themselves comic book fans, you know? And that's one thing I will say. I'm very honest when I watch MCU movies in that I'm not a comic book fan, as in I haven't read them and I don't intend to. So I'm normally very open about that when giving opinions, which is probably why, because that's the other thing as well, is you've also got to remember, whilst they are trying to service comic book fans with these characters, they are also trying to cast a wide net to keep the casual audience invested, which is why sometimes they might take a snippet of a storyline and then go, but we're not doing the whole thing because the casual fans wouldn't care. But with Demon in a Bottle, RDJ would probably not want to go too far into that plot line. Yeah, given his history. He tapped early to Elia at TakeOver 36 to Gunther's own sleeper, so I don't think it'll hurt him. Yeah, but Elia is renowned as a technical wrestler and, you know, a fucking masterclass. Whereas Jey Uso never uses a sleeper. When was the last time you saw Jey Uso do a sleeper? I find it in a lot of adaptation content now. There'll be fan service references intertwined with a lackluster plot. Yeah, sometimes. Gore the God Butcher should have been a different film. Yeah, because Christian Bale did a great job in, like, the fucking 2 scenes he was in. For sure. Beep, beep. Right, we've caught all these, and none of them are fucking Sheens. What bastards? What bastards? So that means reset, but that also means did you save? I think I saved when something else saved. But I don't know. But I will be rapping in a moment. I want to whap. I want to whine. Heard it in a song and now I'm into gun crime. Ooh, we got those. We got those aches. Fun fact, comic Age of Ultron is about Ultron winning, ending humanity, and then Wolverine, Invisible Woman, time travel to kill Hank Pym. Movie is also great, though. Bruh. I think it was showing that Jay is more than just super kicks and a splash. He only did two super kicks the whole match, and they're both at the end. You know what? Fair play. Yeah, because he did, like, German suplexes and stuff, and, like, it was fine. I just wonder where Gunther goes from here. I just found out you have to be under 13 to ride the cars at Legoland. Why am I even going? Yeah, what the fuck? Just kick all the children out. Thing is, I can get behind the comedy of 4, and if they had Enchantress as the villain, that would have been fun. Just Gore was wasted. Yeah, a little bit. Little bit. Gore can get in the bin in the MCU. In the bin. In the bin. In the bin. In the bin. Right, on that note, I love all y'all, and I will miss you terribly. But I'm going to go watch wrestling now. So, for a few hours, I couldn't give a fuck. But I love y'all. Everybody with Netflix in the UK, watch WWE WrestleMania at midnight. Rhea Ripley's going to be in the first match, so you can, like, ejaculate and then go to bed. Have a good time. And who knows, by the end of that match, you might be like, oh, this wrestling stuff's really silly. I might watch more and watch the rest of the show, which is going to be baller. But until next time, Tuesday, when we play more Pokemon, that's crazy. I'll catch you later. Look after yourselves and each other, and especially me. Please fill my pockets. Bye-bye!